Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome back here, liveevent.com, as we are here from the North Sargent High School Gymnasium for the North Dakota Class B Region 1 Southeast Sub-Region Duels, a quadrangular tonight for the, I guess it's on schedule tonight here in Gwinner, North Dakota, broadcasting to wrestling live from the North Sargent High School Gymnasium. And this is kind of making history over here in Gwinner, as this will be the first time we've had wrestling, or they've had wrestling here in Sargent County inside the North Sargent High School Gymnasium since 1994. So going all the way back to 94, and we're back here this evening for a quadrangular. And just kind of how this quad will work out is that we have the mats 1, mat 2 inside the gym. Mat 1 will feature Lisbon. Lisbon will stay on mat 1 for all 3 rounds of wrestling tonight. And then you'll have the other teams will switch on and off then over on mat number 2. And just looking at the mat 1 schedule for Lisbon. So starting off, it'll be Lisbon versus Napoleon in round 1. And then on mat 2, it's Northern Cass versus Kindred. Round 2, it's Lisbon versus Northern Cass. On mat 2, it's Kindred versus Napoleon. That's round 2. And then round 3 this evening, on mat number 1, it's Kindred versus Lisbon. And then mat 2 has Napoleon versus Northern Cass. So 3 rounds this evening. Round 1, Lisbon versus Napoleon. Northern Cass versus Kindred. Round 2, Lisbon versus Northern Cass. Kindred versus Napoleon. And then Kindred versus Lisbon, Napoleon versus Northern Cass for round 3. And they're just going to go rolling schedule. So once the teams complete their duels, they'll probably have about 10 minutes in between those duels and try to keep things rolling along. And when the teams are ready and the mats are opened up, they're going to start the subsequent duel. So we're going to have a continuous stream here. And as you can see up on the screen there, your round 1 teams will be mat 1, Lisbon versus Napoleon, and mat 2 is Northern Cass versus Lisbon. And you look at Lisbon coming into this duel, this quad this evening. Lisbon sits at 4-1 overall in duels. They're 1-1 in the Southeast Sub-Region in Class B duels. Lisbon opened up their regular season on the 4th of December. They had the Hillsborough Central Valley duel that was canceled, the triangular, on the 24th of November. So they opened up with a duel, come from behind win for Lisbon in that one. On the 4th of December, they defeated the Oaks Tornadoes for their Southeast Sub-Region duel win, 34-28. They wrestled in the Dan Unruh-Wahpeton tournament, placing second on the 6th of December. On the 11th of December, they wrestled in a triangular against Valley City and Wahpeton. So they took on the new East Region Class B foe, and then also in the Southeast Sub-Region, Valley City Highliners. And Lisbon defeated the Highliners in a duel 51-19 on 11 December, and also defeated Wahpeton by a score of 52-18. And then on the 13th of December, Lisbon traveled up to Carrington for the Al Larson invite, finishing in 2nd place. Broncos had another duel canceled because of weather. On the 18th of December, they wrestled in the Valley City Holiday Tournament, finishing 5th as a team. And then they came back after a long holiday break on the 8th of January, and they wrestled the South Border Mustangs. Mustangs considered one of the dual team favorites, or considered the dual team favorite as it stands right now in the state. Right now, South Border sitting in the top spot as far as the dual teams, but they lost to the Mustangs by 1 point, 34-35. That was an exciting duel. Lisbon with a couple open weight classes in that duel, and I think South Border also had one open weight class. So I'm sure the teams, after this holiday break and after Letterman's tournament, I know still a few injuries, still trying to fight through a few injuries and get everybody healthy to make that push towards the end of January and into tournament time. And then Lisbon on the 13th of January, they came back after the Letterman's tournament where they were the team champions. That was from the 9th to the 10th of January, and they won the individual team championship with 3 individual champions. And that started at 152 with Ryan Eng, and then 160 pounds Cruz Ranke, and then 172 Eli Lyons, all collecting championships for Lisbon. Noah Anderson finished in 2nd place at 127 pounds. And then Now Lisbon's here tonight for this quad with Kindred, Napoleon, and Northern Cass. Should have some good wrestling this evening. Napoleon has a young squad, but they have a number of quality. So maybe not the numbers, but definitely the quality on the squad for Napoleon. A number of their wrestlers, freshmen and below, on their squad. So looking for Napoleon. Napoleon's looking to build back that dynasty that they had, back in the 2010, late 2000, 2010 era. And they got a lot of those wrestlers on those teams have kids that are coming up. And they look pretty strong this year with these young wrestlers. And also Northern Cass building on their success, building up their program. And have a number of talented young wrestlers, as well as a couple of their heavier weight wrestlers, or their heavier wrestlers that have been with the program for a couple of years now, looking to not only placed at the Central Cass Letterman's tournament, but also trying to earn a trip to the state tournament and then the spot on the podium. So Northern Cass, Napoleon, and then Kindred. Kindred, kind of the dark horse here in Region 1, or the East Region, also the Southeast Subregion duels, as they put together a very strong team, and they're just kind of reaping the benefits of the energy and the effort they put into their youth program, as they've done a great job down there developing these wrestlers, and we've been waiting for it a long time. We've always said it's been coming, and I think Kindred's finally turned the corner. And you look at their finishes in a lot of these individual tournaments, their top 5 finishes, scoring over 100 points in a lot of them. So they're definitely a team to be reckoned with, not only on the East region but across the state when they put a wrestler on the mat. So those are your 4 teams: Lisbon, Kindred, Napoleon, and Northern Cass. Napoleon, Lisbon's first opponent. They've wrestled a number of duels. They're 2-3 overall in duels. They're 0-1 in the Southeast Subregion. They opened up their dual team action on the 5th of December. They wrestled Fargo South, and they won that duel by a score of 42-36. They also wrestled Deslax Burlington, and they lost to Deslax Burlington by a score of 30-33. They came back for another duel, and this was against Ellendale Edgeley Calm for a Southeast Subregion duel, and they lost to the Thunder by a score of 54-17. They wrestled up at the L. Larson in the dual tournament there on Friday night at the L. Larson on the 12th of December, and Carrington defeated Napoleon by a score of 41-16, and then they faced Minot Bishop Ryan, and they shut out Minot Bishop Ryan by a score of 49-0, picking up another dual win. So that's their 2 dual wins and their 3 dual losses coming into this evening's quad with the Broncos, the Jags, and the Vikings. And then looks like Napoleon wrestled at the L. Larson, the Linton Holiday Tournament, and the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament. They finished the L. Larson in 8th place, 13th place at the Linton Holiday Tournament, and 14th place at the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament for Napoleon. Northern Cass is a pile of duels on record, as they've hit the dual tournament circuit pretty hard, and the wrestling in a bunch of tries and quads. As their overall dual record, as it stands, is 2-7, or 2-7-1 in duels, and they are 0-2 in the Southeast Subregion of North Dakota in Class B, but they're 2-7-1 overall for a team that is up and coming and building their program. And they started out their season on the 6th of December wrestling Grand Forks Central. They lost that duel 71-6. They wrestled Crookston, and they tied Crookston, Minnesota at 36 apiece. They wrestled Monoma-Waban. They lost to Monoma-Waban by a score of 68-6. Wrestled Thompson, and the Tommies defeated Northern Cass in their first meetup of the season, 46-29. That must have been up at the Hillsboro Central duels up there. Thompson defeated Northern Cass 46-29, but keep that in mind as we go down their duels this season. On the 11th of December, they wrestled in a triangular with Roseau and Pembina County, and they lost to Roseau by a score of 48-12 and lost to Pembina County of 53-12. And then they lost another Southeast Subregion duel on the 16th of December, 57-18 to Valley City. But then they came back that same night, and they defeated Thompson this time. Must have found some better matchups, or really worked that lineup as they defeated Thompson this time by a score of 30-27. So earlier, Thompson defeated Northern Cass 46-29. This time, Northern Cass defeated Thompson by a score of 30-27. And then Northern Cass active again after the holiday break. in duels as they wrestled Ellendale. The Calm Thunder defeated them by a score of 63-5. And then they wrestled Lytton HMB. They picked up a dual win against Lytton HMB by a score of 36-30. So that counts for their 2 dual wins. One against Lytton HMB, the other one against Thompson, and then they tied with Crookston back on the 6th of December. And here's Kindred. Kindred looking at 4-0 in duels overall. They're 2-0 in the Southeast Subregion dual circuit as they opened up on the 5th of December. We're at the Dan Unruh individual tournament, placing 4th as a team in Wahpeton. 11th of December, they've added Ellendale Edgeley Combe, and they defeated the Thunder by a score of 33-30. On the 13th of December, they wrestled in the Lemoore Invitational, and Kindred placed 2nd as a team, 2nd to South Border. 16th of December, they wrestled West Fargo Horse in a duel. They defeated Horse by a score of 54-13. And then they wrestled the Linton Holiday Tournament, placing 5th as a team. And back-end duel action on the 6th of January for a triangular, where they defeated the Oaks Tornadoes 33-28. And then they defeated Hillsborough Central Valley by a score of 53-20. And wrestled the Central Cass Letterman's Tournament on the 9th through the 10th of December. And Kindred placed 4th as a team at the Letterman's Tournament. So just kind of a wrap-up of each team as they stand this season in duels. Lisbon sitting at 4-1 overall. Napoleon 2-3. Northern Cass 2-7. And Kindred sits at 4-0. And these are all Southeast Subregion duels this evening, so they do have implications in the standings for that dual team tournament and the qualifying tournament to get into state in February. And looking at some of your duels around the state this evening in Division B, Class B, we have Harvey Wells County in a quad with Williams County Rugby and Velva. Pembina County North is at Badger Greenbush. Carrington is at Mayport CG and Hillsborough Central Valley, and that is for a triangular. Northern Lights also in a triangular with Larimore and Thompson. And Lytton HMB is at Rugby, so they must be up there. Must be up there with the quad up there in Harvey Wells County. I have Lytton HMB at Rugby. Either that or that's tomorrow. So those are the Division B, Class B duels on schedule for this evening. And then for Class A, a number of them, if you're a wrestling fan in Class A, there's a lot of duels tonight in Class A. You have Breck Wap facing Castleton and West Fargo Horse in a triangular. Fargo Davies is at Grand Forks Red River. Turtle Mountain is at Jamestown. Bismarck Century is at Dickinson. Grand Forks Central is at Fargo North. St. Mary's at Bismarck. Bismarck Legacy at Watford City. Devils Lake at West Fargo. Minot United is at Mandan. And that is those are the Class A duels that are on schedule for this evening, along with the Class B duels in the quads and the triangulars. So we're going to step away. We'll come back for more here on yourliveevent.com as they're going to go ahead and do the national anthem inside the gymnasium and get these teams lined up and ready for action.
What's going on today?
I've got a planter in the shop, and I had the guys from Agassiz Precision Ag come over and do an inspection.
You upgrading systems, or are you working on maintenance?
Both, actually. We walked some fields last summer and found areas where we can improve. So we are installing Delta Force and some new opening discs.
Yeah, I bet we're in the same boat. I should give them a call.
Yep, they will come out and look over the planter with you and put a plan together. They are the guys I go to for answers.
Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Are you looking for the perfect hardwood for your next winter project? Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsborough has exciting news. Hardwood is now available in the Red River Valley only at Cywick. Whether you're a crafter, woodworker, or hobbyist, they have what you need to make your project. Choose from 3 convenient thicknesses and a beautiful variety of woods: red oak, cherry, white oak, hard maple, walnut, hickory, and poplar. Get started on your next masterpiece with the help of Cywick Lumber and Hardware, Hillsborough.
No job too big, no call.
Hey, welcome back here to the North Sargent Activity Center as we're in the the main gymnasium over here. I think we're on the east side of the gymnasium here in that Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth, getting ready to broadcast to you these wrestling duels this evening. First time here in Gwinner since 1994, getting back into some wrestling here as part of the, honoring the achievements and accomplishments of Ryan Eng for the Lisbon Broncos. He's over here in Gwinner, goes to North Sargent High School, and he's been a multiple-time state place winner for Lisbon and getting to wrestle in his home gymnasium. So a pretty big special day for Ryan, and big thanks to him for coming over there to Lisbon and being involved in our wrestling program. As getting ready for our duels, so it looks like they're just announcing all the wrestlers all at once by weight, so changing it up a little bit. It's kind of cool. I'm just going to have all the wrestlers go out there. I'll see if I can get a camera on it. Just to the center of the mat. So these are 114-pound wrestlers that are going out there right now. But we're up here in our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. We're broadcasting to you live from the North Sargent Activity Center here for Stock Growers Bank, small town bank, big time partner with Stock Growers mobile app. Experience banking at fingertips anytime, anywhere, bank near, so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank, member FDIC, and the equal housing lender. And just looking at that schedule again, your first duel in round one is Lisbon versus Napoleon over on mat number 1. Mat number 2, Northern Cass versus Kindred. And then round 2 on mat number 1, it's Lisbon versus Northern Cass, then Kindred versus Napoleon on mat 2. And round 3, Kindred versus Lisbon and Napoleon versus Northern Cass. So those are the duels and the duels by round in the mats assignment inside the gymnasium, as we will keep a rolling schedule once the mats open up and both teams are ready to go. I'd say right around 10 minutes, they'll give them maybe time to collect themselves and get them back out there to wrestle and try to keep this thing moving along. And as we turn to the Class B individual rankings as far as teams, I know a New Dakota Grappler ranking came out for Class B, so we'll try to take a look at that, as that was a hot off the press there by Dakota Grappler. And looking at that, so looking at your top 5 teams on the individual team race or team point race in the state of North Dakota for Class B, as according to Dakota Grappler, you have number 1 Velva, number 2 Lisbon, number 3 South Border, number 4 is Oaks, tied with Kindred. So a couple of teams, EEK dropping down a spot. Oaks and Kindred tied for 4. Oaks staying the same. Kindred in the rankings, tied for 4. And then Velva moves up a spot. South Border drops 2 spots to number 3. Lisbon moves up to number 2 in the individual team rankings. And then for your Class B dual rankings, it looks like Velva number 1 team, number 2 South Border, number 3 Lisbon, number 4 Hettinger, 5 Bowman County, along with Williams County. Looking at your top 5 teams as far as the state dual team rankings in Class B. And then looking at those Class A rankings, just for your information for Class A, and I don't think those have come out. They may have been published, but this is according to last week in your Class A individual team rankings for the team points race in a state title, team title, is Bismarck Legacy, number 1, number 2 Bismarck High, number 3 Fargo Davies, number 4 Bismarck Century, and number 5 is Dickinson. And on the dual side of things in the state of North Dakota, your top 5 teams, Bismarck Legacy, Fargo Davies, Bismarck High, Dickinson High, and Grand Forks Central. So those are your top 5 teams in both the individual rankings of Class A and the dual team rankings. And then I did have some of these individual matchups kind of charted out there according to last week's Dakota Grappler individual rankings, and they did move around a bit. Number of wrestlers coming back after the holidays, bumping down weight, and also a lot of head-to-head matches that changed the rankings. So these are not accurate according to the hot off the press Dakota Grappler rankings. So some of these wrestlers moved up or moved down a weight class, and then also head-to-head changed some of the rankings. But at 107 pounds, a couple of ranked wrestlers in there are Isaac Davidson of Northern Cass. Davidson ranked number 5, and Jaden Rude ranked number 6 in a possible head-to-head matchup. At 127 pounds, looks like we have Noah Anderson of Lisbon ranked number 1, or ranked number 2 with the newest Division B, Class B rankings. And then number 1 is Gavin Swenson at Kindred. So Swenson and Anderson met up at the Central Cass Letterman's tournament, and then Anderson ended up going down by injury default in that one. And Swenson takes over the top ranking at 127 pounds. Anderson is number 2. 139 pounds. Couple ranked wrestler possible matchup between let's see, that's down at 133. So that 133 is Jaden Rude. So Rude going down, or excuse me, Gavin Rude going down. He's ranked number 7 at 133 pounds. Lisbon had Gavin Robertson ranked honorable mention at 139 previous to this week. And I see he's dropped out of the ranking. Looks like he's dropped out of the 139 rankings. 145 pounds, number 4 is Griffin Greenlee. He's unchanged, or that's unchanged from a week ago. 152 pounds. This is a little bit of a change. Ryan Hing had himself a tournament out at the Letterman's tournament as he defeated a number of these ranked wrestlers, including Carson Kazed and Braden Buey, and placed ahead of Clifton and Schneider and also Riker Vetter. And so Eng, the champion at 152 pounds at the Letterman's tournament, he moved up to the number 2 spot at 152 pounds. He could see Noak Swenson tonight, and also Bryce Schneider. Schneider currently ranked number 6, and Swenson ranked number 8 at 152 pounds, so a good weight class to watch. 160 pounds, we have Cruz Ranke ranked Miles Theogis and Brooks Grunfelder. 172 pounds, Eli Lyons ranked number 2. 189 pounds, we have Tanner Mengi. Mengi, I believe, is ranked number 3 at Class B, and then Riley Lucina, an honorable mention ranking from Dakota Grappler. 215 pounds is Andre Dahl. And Matt and Schwab, a couple of ranked wrestlers, and 285 is Brock Lyons. So our duel this evening here between Lisbon, you got Theo Hans out there for the Broncos. So Hans ready to wrestle, and then Trey Rao for Napoleon. Theo, a 7th grader for Lisbon. So this duel just underway between Lisbon and Napoleon. And both wrestlers on their feet. So inside the gymnasium, I won't be able to see the score for Mat 2 because that's on the same wall, the Mat 1 score over on the opposite wall. And I'm able to see that, so I'll be able to keep you updated on the duel and the match score here on mat number 1. Mat number 2 not able to do that, as don't have a viewing angle of the scoreboard. So here's Hans. Hans going inside cradle, has the head in the hole, but was coming up over the top. He had the right idea. Still working over here for Theo Hans. Got to see if he can grab that ankle, grab the back ankle. Working around, chase the ankle. Theo Hans still has head in the hole, still trying to work around. As Rao is going to grab the elbow and hang on. Hans still trying to work back around to the backside. And the go behind, 3-point takedown for Theo Hans. Hans has the early 3-0 lead. There's 45 seconds remaining. So looking at 45 seconds here for Theo Hans to try to work some near fall. Raul with the stand-up, outside leg stand-up. Works to clear the hands. And good mat return by Hans. Goes to a crossface on Raul. And Raul looks like he's probably giving up a little bit of weight there to Theo Hans. Hans, pretty solid 107-pounder out there. And Hans just working back down to the wrist, trying to hit that head lever. Still working it, sticks the forehead in the back of the tricep. Now he's just got to straighten it out. Good defense by Raul. Raul's going to go belly down. Hans, power half over the top, has 5 seconds. Tried to work a takedown for the Broncos. Goes to the other side, switches it up. So staying active on top there, Theo Hans. And he has the 3-0 lead. So we got the 3-0 lead up on the Bank North scoreboard. We're scoreless. First duel. So our first duel here is 3-0. And we're a minute 40 remaining, second period. Wrestlers over on the far side, far center edge of the mat. Hans is in the top position, has a 6-0 lead with another takedown. So 2 takedowns for Hans. Rao in on a leg as they're going to go out. Back to the center for a restart. Official over on mat number 1 is Brandon Nielsen. And wrestlers back to the center for a restart. So we're still 107 pounds on both mats. All right, nice stand-up. Raoul's going to go ahead. Splits the hands, hip ice. No hip ice. Mat return here by Hans. So Hans with the mat return going back to the head lever. Goes down to the wrist, digging that forehead in the back of the tricep. Sit out by Raoul. Chin drop attempt for Hans. Has the chin caught. Raoul with nice little hip ice back around, trying to get some separation. Grabs the elbow on Hans, stands up, and clears the hip for the escape. Isolated the wrist, cleared it, and in on a nice single leg shot off the escape. Stands up, shoots in a nice single leg on Hans. Hans has to go belly down, gives up the takedown. Now 6-4. So our score is 6-4 here for Trey Rao. Down by 2 points, 10 seconds remaining, second period, 1 point escape for Hans. On the escape, see Rao's going to try to score here at the end of the period. He hits another nice outside single shot, tried down low on the ankle. Hans will continue to hold the lead now, 7-4. So he's up 7-4 for Theo Hans in the bottom position. Trey Rao for Napoleon. White singlet with the blue trim on in the top position. Representing the Imperials, and inadvertent whistle over on mat 2 on the stand-up by Hans. So they just get him reset back to the center of the mat. Hans has the 3-point lead in the bottom position. He's going to stand up. Rao working top position, goes to work on the arm. Now back to the near ankle. Keeps the deep waist in. Hans quad pod up, tries to knee slide out, broke down by Rao. Still base up there for Theo Hans. And wrestlers back to the center of that. Rao looking at the coach's corner. They tell him just to let him go. So he's going to let Hans up for the restart. So let's Hans up. Single leg shot by Rao, working in underneath. Hans a little bit of weight advantage. Rao's kind of stuck underneath with his belly down. Hans trying to turn the corner. Had the crossface thrown in there, gave up on it. Rao still working underneath. He's going to sit out. Try to stim back around on Hans. Hans sprawls out. Hans with the 8-4 lead with the escape. Now stood back up. Hans over the top, front headlock position. He's going to snap him down, drags him down to the mat. Trying to get head and hole. He's got to go head and hole. Peek out position for Rao. So the danger of that when you stay with your head up over the top and chest on the back is they hit that peek out on you. Nice hip iced around it. You got to go behind or you got to take down. Now Rao in on Hans. Hans going to bulldog him over. Down to 25 seconds remaining. Hans has the 8-4 lead. Going to spin on his toes. The go behind takedown for Theo Hans. And he has the 11-4 lead. Tries a chin drop. Reversal in. Just as he was hitting the reversal, he headed Hans in a dangerous position. The 1 point loss of control is 11-5. So we're 11-5. At the end of the period, Theo Hans will win by 6 points, 11-5. Your decision for Hans of Lisbon. Dual score 3-0 up on the Bank North scoreboard. 3-0, Lisbon with the lead early in this one. And next up, we have Micah Fromke for Lisbon. So Fromke for Lisbon. And that's Brandon Grunike for Napoleon. So Grunike, Napoleon, and Fromke of Lisbon. Micah Fromke making the cut down to 114 after the holidays. Odds with the win for the Broncos, 11-5, win by decision. And the crossface go behind right into a cradle for Micah Fromke. Has the takedown, the cradle. And Grunike able to grab that, grab the arm, see if he can pass the arm and get some separation. Fromke had that cradle locked up tight, rolls him over for some near fall. And the official with the 4 near fall. Fromke still got it tight. He's going to belly out now. See if he can get those shoulders flattened out on the mat. Pin for Micah Fromke. Give him a pin in 41 seconds. So Fromke went to win by a fall. Or 9-0. And that'll get us to 121, where teams, or Lisbon will have Jack Lucina. And Napoleon is open. Lisbon will pick up a forfeit at 121 pounds. So it'll get us to 127. 127, Napoleon also open. So Lisbon will pick up another forfeit. They should have the 21-0 dual score lead after 127 pounds. So this will take us to 133. So we'll go to 133. And that'll be Bo Grunfelder going out there, and Grayson Lyons for Lisbon. Lyons coming off a 5th place finish at the Letterman's tournament, out wrestling Bo Grunfelder of Napoleon. The Lions with an injury from football, missed the first half of the season. We'll call it the first half of the season. Missed November and December with the injury. Back in the lineup for the Letterman's tournament with a 5th place finish for Grayson Lyons. Wrestling 133 pounds for the Broncos, wrestling Bo Grunfelder. And that is a 21-0 dual score. Lisbon currently leads by a score of 21-0 over Napoleon. And Grunfelder in on a single leg shot, goes to the outside, sprawled by Grayson Lyons. The wrestler's back, just working off center of the mat. Into a collar tie by Lyons. Now he's going to shrug it off. Grunfelder back to the edge of the mat, works back to the center of the mat. Goes into collar ties, working the elbow. Grunfelder's going to push it off. Circles back around to the middle. Just a little hand fighting between Lyons and Grunfelder. Grunfelder takes the shot in on Lyons. Lyons with the sprawl, goes front headlock, kind of cow catcher position. Has an underhook near side. Grunfelder stands up. Down to 15 seconds remaining in the first period. So this is round 1 of 3 this evening. Round 2 features Lisbon, Northern Cass, Kindred, Napoleon. Round 3, Kindred and Lisbon, and Napoleon and Northern Cass. Lisbon will stay on mat 1. And going scoreless into the second period between Bo Grunfelder and Lions. So Grayson Lions getting into the rankings, ranked number 8, and Grunfelder honorable mention ranking. So should be a tight matchup here between Bo Grunfelder. Grunfelder, an 8th grader. Lions, a senior. And those are according to Dakota Grappler rankings. Lions currently ranked number 8. Bo Grunfelder honorable mention ranking. And the 1-point escape for Lions, who is in the bottom position, has the 1-0 lead up on the scoreboard. And looks like a little poke to the eye, some injury time, as we're going to go and step away, and we'll take a timeout here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Bears Home Solutions handles it all. You need a bear in there, oh yeah. Keeping homes just right with expert care. Let our stars guide you when repairs scare. You need a bear in there.
Check out bearshomesolutions.com.
All right, Grunfelder said he was good to go. 1:18 remaining in the second period. Grayson Lions started the period in the bottom position. Reshot by Lions. Grunfelder down block, steps back. Lions has to reset. Little head tap. That one went straight to the nose of Grunfelder. Now circles back around Grunfelder. Nice collar tie, working in on Lions. Lions pushes him away. Nice little shot. Opposite side went to the left side, then right there for Grunfelder. Hand fighting by Lions. So I've seen Lions look like maybe one shot. Grunfelder's had a couple shots to this, couple single leg shots to the outside. Tried to pass the elbow on Lions. Lions steps back. Grunfelder back to the edge of the mat. And a shot by Lions. Grunfelder keeps the leg spiraled, pushes him away. Still the 1-0 lead. Grayson Lions working the near edge of the mat. Circles back over to the Napoleon corner. So we are broadcasting to you from the North Sargent Activity Center in Gwinner, North Dakota. Guess it's the Broncos home away from home this evening. As Grunfelder in on a leg, and the end of the period. And we're 1-0 in favor of Grayson Lions. Bo Grunfelder, the 8th grader, in the bottom position to start. And on the whistle, Grunfelder with the outside or inside leg stand up. Chop of the arm by Lions. He goes down to a leg. Lions down inside in a forklift position. Now goes high crotch to step around. Grunfelder has a whizzer near side. See if Lions can shelf it. Still no escape. Loss of control. 1 point for Bo Grunfelder. This one's going on their feet. Who's going to decide it? Between Grunfelder and Grayson Lions. Lions back in. Little pressure, forward pressure on Grunfelder. Grunfelder back to the edge of the mat. Lions holding the center. Coming up on the final minute of the match. We're tied up at 1 apiece. So 1-1 going in here in the third period. Grunfelder in on a takedown on Lions. Lions was able to get a whizzer in, but Grunfelder in good position scores the takedown on Grayson Lions. Lions down by 3 points. Now with the stand-up. And clears with the escape for Lions. Lions working in. He's down by 2 points, 4-2. The shot, Grunfelder, he can just keep Lions away with that 2-point lead. Lines in on a single leg shot, edge of the mat. He's going to try to pull it up. Working the edge. There was Bo Grunfelder. Did the smart thing, stepped out, took the big step. That pushed him out off the mat. Back to the center for a restart. Grunfelder has the 2-point lead. Wearing the white singlet blue trim. Lions holding the center of the mat. 4-2 is your score. Lions does have an escape in the period. We're 21-0 up on the Bank North scoreboard in our duel. In the final 5 seconds is Bo Grunfelder will pick up the 2-point win over Grayson Lions. Their final score in the match is a 4-2 win. 3 points on the board. As it's now 21-3, looking for your Olson Accounting recap up to this point in our duel between Lisbon and Napoleon. We start at 107 pounds, where Theo Hans wins by decision 11-5 over Raw of Napoleon. And then at 114 pounds, Micah Fromke winner by pin in the first period. 41 seconds, Broncos win up by a score of 9-0. And then at 121 pounds and 127, 2 open weight classes for Napoleon. Lisbon picks up 2 forfeits, 15 points and then 21-0. At 133 pounds, it was win by decision. Bo Grunfelder over Grayson Lions. They scored 21-3, and now at 139, that was Ian Anderson, win by forfeit. And now out here with Griffin Greenlee. So Broncos up in the duel, 27-3, up on that Olson Accounting duel recap to this point in our duel this evening between Lisbon and Napoleon here on mat number 1. If you need help with your monthly accounting and payroll, let Cindy and your staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. That's your Olson Accounting duel recap up to 145 pounds. So this matchup at 145 features Griffin Greenlee, wrestler still center of the mat. Greenlee coming off a 3rd place finish at the Letterman's tournament for Lisbon. Greenlee with pass on the wrist, or tried to pass the wrist. He's wrestling Weston Baumgartner. And Greenlee reshoots on Baumgartner. Baumgartner back up to his feet. And down under a minute remaining. And Baumgartner keeping Greenlee, keeping a lot of space between him and Greenlee right now. Greenlee with a little feint down to 30 seconds, still holding the center of the mat. The elbow. Baumgartner's going to stay outside. Not getting in a tie-up or getting tied up by Greenlee. Now Greenlee reaches down, knee picks it, goes down, drops down, shelves it, runs it over for the takedown for Griffin Greenlee. Picks up the takedown. And final 5 seconds. And we have stop in action. And there was an inadvertent whistle. And the wrestlers now back to the center for a restart. 4 seconds remaining. At 145, Griffin Greenlee ranked number 4. Latest Dakota Grappler ranking. Baumgartner's choice, he defers over to Greenlee. So Baumgartner in the top position to start her second period. Greenlee with the 3-0 lead. And caution on the home team. Doesn't say Broncos on the scoreboard here in Gwinner. It says Bulldogs. And off the whistle, that's a stand-up. Greenlee not able to get any separation. Baumgartner takes him back down to the mat. Now second period, knee slide, chop of the elbow, and the wrist control. Now Greenlee still not able to get the separation, the escape. 16 seconds have expired so far in the second period. Still a 3-0 lead for Griffin Greenlee Russell Weston Baumgartner. And now the escape, the 1 point for Greenlee. .40 is our score. Greenlee had the 3-0 lead in the match. We're 27-3, the dual score. Lisbon in the lead. Minute 15 remaining in the second period. Greenlee in, now level change, now goes up over the top, shoots on a double. To try to reel this in. Baumgartner with the hips. Pushes Greenlee away. No double leg there for Greenlee on the down block. And the defense by Baumgartner. Now working back. Far edge of the mat. Lisbon corner. Wrestlers called out back to the center. 4-0 lead for Greenlee. 45 seconds remain in the second period. Greenlee holds center of the mat. Baumgartner comes in, working inside now with Greenlee. Tries the elbow pass. Greenlee's going to reshoot. Fireman takes Baumgartner down. The explosion. We're looking at the Agassi precision move of the match there by Griffin Greenlee as he ripped the fireman's carry. Throws Baumgartner to his back, and working for a pin is Greenlee. Final 12 seconds. We'll see if Baumgartner can survive. He does get belly down. And some big points coming now and breaking it open is Griffin Greenlee up 11-0 for that Agassi precision move of the match there for Greenlee. 8 seconds remaining in the period. Greenlee has the 11-0 lead, as that is your Agassi precision move of the match. Your local precision planning deal, Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. And back to the center for the restart. Still the 8 seconds and the 11-0 lead for Griffin Greenlee. And here at 145 pounds, our dual score 27-3 in favor of the Broncos. Is Napoleon picked up a win by decision. A 4-2 win by decision was Grunfelder over Grayson Lyons at 133 for the 3 points for Napoleon. Lisbon's picked up 3 forfeits, a pin, and a win by decision. And now Greenlee up 11-0. We're starting on our feet in this third period. Shoots in. Tried to hit a double. Switched to a single. Reshot by Baumgartner. Greenlee back up to his feet. Now Baumgartner in on a single leg shot. Has this high crotch shot locked up on Greenlee's going to go. Hits the Jones. He rolls through. Nice scramble by Greenlee. And Baumgartner's going to try to come out the back door. Greenlee's still down. See if he can pass the leg on Baumgartner. He's got to try. Baumgartner's got a tilt locked up on Greenlee. Greenlee's going to have to reset. And now Baumgartner establishes control on Greenlee. Greenlee in the ball and chain. He's in trouble of being turned over. Takes a look at the clock. 11-3 with the takedown. No near fall. Greenlee dove down. Thought he had a Jonesy, and then Baumgartner scrambles, comes out behind him, locks up the ball and chain. Maintaining control of the wrist and the elbow. And we're going to go stalemate, 11-3 the score. 53 seconds, and Greenlee's going to get the Agassi precision move of the match. Baumgartner with a pretty slick takedown, but no near fall in this third period. So there's off the whistle. Greenlee with the stand-up, under 50 seconds remaining to try to clear. The 1 point escape with Greenlee. Now 12-3. 9 point lead for Greenlee. And it looks like they're pushing heavyweight over here on mat 2. So that duel should wrap up on mat 2 within the next couple minutes. Mat 1, we're still at 145 pounds. And Greenlee, with the single leg shot, gets around, establishes control. He's up with the takedown, 15-3 with another takedown for Griffin Greenlee. I'd like to see Grunike keep the pressure on, keep scoring in the match. He could have rode it out, but I like it being aggressive with the takedown. 15-3. Major decision win. 41-3, or excuse me, 31-3 is the dual score. Going down to 152 pounds, this could be a good one. Schneider and Eng. So Schneider got the best of Ryan earlier in the season. And I think that was up at Carrington at the Al Larson. And since then, Ryan's been on a tear. And he's down, nice single leg shot for Eng. Yeah, Schneider on a hip. Schneider, no slouch of a wrestler. As he got a couple of ranked wrestlers out here going at it. Should be a good battle. As Ryan Eng moving up to the number 2 spot at 152 pounds, and Bryce Schneider ranked number 6. Like I said, Schneider came out on top of their first meeting. And now Eng trying to turn the corner on the takedown. Came up with a nice ankle pick. Eng with the takedown. Mat return by Ryan Eng. As Eng was able to dispatch Carson Kazed and Braden Buey. Defeated Braden Buey in the semifinals and Kazed in the championship at 152 pounds at the Letterman's tournament. That was a stacked 152-pound weight class out there. 152 and 160. You come out of that, you are one of the top wrestlers on the east or west side of the Red River. And here we go with the 45 seconds remaining. We're 31-3 dual score, 3-0 lead for Ryan Eng over Schneider. Schneider with the escape. Nope, didn't establish. So no 1 point escape as Eng was looking right away as Schneider was looking to clear his hips. Eng took the shot, takes him back down to the mat. So we're still 3-0. Not sure if Ryan knows he didn't get points for that. Now Schneider with the escape. So we're 3-1. The takedown, now the escape for Schneider with 15 seconds remaining. And looking at Bryce Schneider last year, Schneider was a state qualifier and placed 6th the year before. State qualifier at 145 and placed 6th the year before for Bryce Schneider. Ryan Eng in the past has been a state runner-up and placed 6th, and he was out last year with an injury for Lisbon. So we're 3-1. Off the whistle, Schneider bottom position, blue white singlet with the blue trim. Standing up, mat return by Eng. Nice hard mat return. Schneider down, Eng working the wrist, trying to go head lever here for Ryan Eng. Chops it. Schneider just holding his base. Hand fight now. Eng was like he was almost able to suck that wrist up. Now tries to work it on the far wrist. Claw ride, standing up, Merkel position. Schneider stands up. Eng has it hooked up. Has the near leg in. Schneider's going to try to work backside and see if he can unhook it. Eng back laces it in there. Down with a minute 15 remaining. Schneider turns into Eng. He's going to try to double up Eng a little bit. Eng with the heavy hips on Schneider. Maintains control, goes Merkel, going to roll him over. And no near fall yet. Schneider did a good job. Ooh, and a big. Yeah, Schneider picked his head up and nailed the chin of Ryan Eng. I could see Eng's head snap back. Yeah, it kind of stunned him a little bit. And I think we're going to have blood time. So there's blood time off of that. And we'll step away here. Right now that match score 3-1 in favor of Ryan Eng. Our dual score 31-3 over here on mat number 1 in favor of the Broncos.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yield and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have.
That's Chad's Excavating out of Bayville, helping farmers grow.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com to finish up that commercial, but we're back to action. Blood time cut. And Eng and Schneider off the whistle with the stand-up. Eng drops down to another ankle. Waterfall position by Schneider. Eng, if he can post, and comes out the back door. Still back on the leg now. Eng's got to see if he can get him down to the mat without picking up the stall call, as Schneider with the whizzer in. Eng was in the top position. Down to 20 seconds remaining. Eng, see if he can get a nice dump here by Eng. He's going to catch Schneider on his hip, and the near fall coming. So he had a swipe, then another swipe. Schneider he has two. So Ryan Eng with the nice dump. And he has Schneider in some trouble at the end of the period. Eng's going to pick up the 4 near fall, and he's going to break it open a little bit now with the near fall for Ryan Eng. Eng on, like I said, on the home mats or the home court here in North Sargent High School, trying to put on a show for the home crowd. He has the 7-1 lead with that near fall. Was able to get the right out and some near fall, and Schneider now bottom position for Ryan Eng. Eng with the double plugs. Took the back of the head of Schneider's head to the nose, or the chin, and now has the 7-1 lead. There are not too many sports out there where you're going to put in the double plugs and then the athlete's going to go back out there and continue on. And really only seen that boxing and wrestling. And now Schneider in the top position, trying to keep Eng down on the mat. Eng isolates. He's going to separate right away. Going for the ankle, drops down. And down to a minute 15 remaining. Eng back to the center of the mat. Schneider wades in. Eng, a senior for Lisbon. I think Schneider's a junior for Napoleon. And Schneider drops down looking for a high crotch. Eng blocks him out. Now it's 8-1 your score with the escape for Ryan. Ryan in on another single leg shot. Schneider's going to counter. Trying to dig the whizzer in on the far side. Eng's going to step over the ankle. Eng is either have to try to limp wrist out of this or see if he can shelf that ankle. And now works back around. Schneider able to get the stalemate. 7-1 or 8-1's your score in the match. Ryan Eng ranked number 2 at 152 pounds. Schneider ranked number 6 at 152. And that duel is complete. So duel complete over there on mat 2. And Schneider working around on Eng, last final 10 seconds. Schneider has a cradle hooked up on Eng. Eng goes back down, high crotch fireman's. Let's see if he can step over into the period, and that'll do it. The win, 7-point win for Ryan Eng, 8-1 over Bryce Schneider. Win by decision. We're 34-3 with the 8-1 win by decision for Ryan. Ryan picked up a takedown in the first period. Schneider with the escape, and then another near fall, 4-point near fall for Ryan. It was 7-1 going in the second period, and then 8-1 with the escape by Ryan Eng. He started in the bottom position in that period. And your 8-1, that's your final score, 7-point win by decision for Ryan Eng. Our dual score 34-3 here out here at 172 pounds. Or excuse me, at 160 pounds here with Cruz Ranke. Ranke with the quick 3-point takedown. And has the cradle locked up, and he's going to roll his Napoleon opponent over. Working for a quick fall. Here is Cruz Ranke in the duel. Has it pretty tight. See if he makes the adjustment to belly out. Flatten out that left shoulder, and a pin for Ranke. And Cruz Ranke, your winner by fall. In 32 seconds. So 32-second win by fall for Ranke. And we are now 40-3 in this duel. Francy ranked number 2 at 160 pounds. Behind Cash Brown. Cash Brown of Williams County ranked number 1 at 160. Francy number 2. Now Eli Lyons for Lisbon at 172. So here comes Lyons. So that was Daniel Van Zyl out there for Napoleon against Francy. Now Lyons wrestling Aiden Mann at 172 pounds. Lyons going to roll Mann over. So he did pick up 3 near fall. We're 6-0 at 172 pounds right now. 6-0, 3-point takedown and 3-point near fall for Ryan Ing. Now the mat return. And looking at Napoleon. Napoleon last year at the state tournament scored 60.5 points. They were in 13th place. Placed 13th on the individual side at the state tournament. And they bring back state qualifiers in Bo Grunfelder, Weston Baumgartner, Bryce Schneider, and Bryce Schneider. And there's a win by fall for Eli Lyons. And then they have returning state place winners in Andre Dahl and Brooks Grunfelder. Dahl placed 7th at 215 pounds, and Grunfelder placed 5th at 133 pounds. That was Brooks Grunfelder. So 3 state qualifiers back for Napoleon, 2 state place winners. And last year they lost the Feist twins and then Weigel to graduation. And another 6 points on the board for the Broncos. 46-3 and now 52-3. As there was a forfeit at 189. And now Andre Dahl and Matt Schwab. You're at 215 pounds. Another ranked matchup is, I think, Schwab is either honorable mention ranking at 215, ranked number 7, and Andre Dahl ranked number 5 at 215 pounds. Latest Dakota Grappler hot off the press rankings. So just like to thank Dakota Grappler for getting those out. As we're still scoreless. And I think Dahl and Schwab have met up a couple times. Dahl has won I'm pretty sure it's 2 meetings between the 2 wrestlers, both times out. I think most recent was at the Letterman's tournament to get into the, more than likely the blood round, if I remember correctly. So Dahl and Schwab. So one of those matches where you blink in blink of an eye and either wrestler could be on their back, as both wrestlers like to get inside and do a little throwing. Yeah, Schwab goes into Dahl, has the head and arm. Dahl with the underhook, Schwab pushing in on him. Down to the final 45 seconds of the first period. Dahl with his back to the edge of the mat. Schwab with the pressure. We're at 215 pounds. And this first duel between Lisbon and Napoleon, Northern Cass and Kindred finishing up their duel. So mat 2 is open. And the shot going underneath was Andre Dahl. Dahl back to the center of the mat. Here with Schwab. Schwab takes a step back. Dahl circling. Schwab back to the center. Down to 15 seconds remaining first period. Schwab with the leg attack. Changes level. Now goes double overs. Still has an over. Underhook by Dahl with the forehead and the temple of Schwab. Working head position. Hits a high crotch. Now back up to his feet. There's Andre Dahl pushing into Schwab at the end of the period. So Schwab, the aggressor of the last 15 seconds. Trying to hit the score at the last 10 seconds. Take the 3-0 lead. Not able to get it. Schwab with the defense. And now back to the center of the match. Schwab with the restart in the bottom position. And off the whistle, he's run out onto the hard floor. Schwab stands up. Dahl goes for the far ankle. Schwab skips out off the far ankle return by Andre Dahl. Back to the restart. 2 seconds had expired. Schwab with the stand-up. And the 1-point escape. We're 1-0 between Schwab and Dahl. Schwab with the early lead. Dahl goes underneath. Like I said, a lot of pressure. And the aggressor again on their feet. Dahl pouring it on the last couple times, or the last 10 to 15 seconds they've had on their feet in this match at the end of the first period. And now after the escape, pushing hard into Schwab. Down to minute 35 remaining. Now Schwab goes in. Underhook by Dahl, edge of the mat. Wrestlers back to the center for a restart. Wrestlers back just working, trying to work inside, pummeling in. Dahl underhook on the near side. Schwab really tight over the top, has the collar in on the far side. Snap down. Dahl going into Schwab again, pushes him out. 1-0 lead for Schwab. Minute 7 remaining. Dual score 52-3 in favor of the Broncos. As Lisbon picked up the win by decision at 107 pounds. It was an 11-5 win by decision, as it was Theo Hans over Trey Rao. 11-5. Lisbon picked up a win by fall in 41 seconds. Fromke over Grunike with a nice cradle by Micah Fromke. Broncos led 9-0 here with our Olsen Accounting recap. Jack Lucina picked up and Schwab able to go behind the stall warning, as they're going to warn Dahl for running off the mat, give him the stall warning. Schwab was able to hit the duck under, got behind Dahl. Now Dahl's going to go hard into Schwab, underhook. Dahl pushing on Schwab now. He wants to get Schwab dinged with the stall. So we're 1-0, 22 seconds remaining. Schwab had the advantage. Was able to get around behind Dahl. Dahl off the edge of the mat. The official thought he was stalling, so issued the stall warning. Broncos picked up another win by forfeit at 127. Broncos led 21-0 going into 133 pounds. And that's when Bo Grunfelder defeated Grayson Lyons by a score of 4-2. Win by decision at 133 for Napoleon. It was 21-3. Anderson for Lisbon picks up a win by forfeit at 139. 27-3 Broncos, 145 pounds. It was Greenlee over Weston Baumgartner. Griffin Greenlee over Weston Baumgartner by a score of 15-3. Win by major decision. We're 31-3. Big mat return at the start of the second period off the stand-up by Andre Dahl. We're 1-0 going into the third period. Minute 45 remaining in the third period. Schwab got to return Dahl. Dahl off the edge. And the 1-point escape. Dahl right away in on a double leg shot. As he's pushing the pace. So we are scoreless at the end of the first period between Dahl and Schwab. Now 1-0 is your score. We're tied up at 1. Each wrestler with an escape. Andre Dahl has been warned for stalling. He's pushing into Schwab. Schwab, if he hasn't been warned for stalling, I haven't seen one yet, but he's got to be close. As now is back to the mat. And at some point, Schwab has got to try to circle in. So we're tied up at 1 apiece. Minute 15 remaining. Schwab with the shot on Dahl. Dahl over the top, underhook. Schwab's going to drive into Dahl. Dahl shrugs him off. Schwab underhook. Dahl backs off. Oh, now the stall. They're going to get Dahl now for backing off the mat. So we're 2-1. Takedown by Dahl takes the lead. 2-1 here with Schwab. Inside trip on Schwab. Schwab has the head and arm, and he's going to lose it on the edge of the mat. Schwab down by 2 points, 4-2 with 50 seconds remaining. And the wrestler's going to go back to the center for a restart. So Dahl with the inside trip gets Schwab. Schwab on the defense decided to go for a headlock, and Dahl was able to slip through that. I think Schwab would have been better Just trying to sprawl out, or it was on the edge of the mat. He could have just went out. How to take the stall warning. Now the 1 point escape. Or 4-3. So Dahl and Schwab. Dahl underhook goes down, single leg, like the leg attack. Schwab's going to go elevator, try to elevate, and he's going to go to his back. Andre Dahl with the takedown as he's pouring it on. Keeping the pace now 7-3 with another takedown. So it looks like that's going to finish it out. Ooh, well, head to knee. Schwab's got to watch out. Goes for the head on Dahl. Final 5 seconds. They're still going at it. Schwab's going to stand up, runs him over. 3-point take or 2-point reversal. Yes, time expired. We're 7-5, and that's the final between Andre Dahl and Matt Schwab. I thought they were just going to ride it out. Schwab kept on going. I like it. And we're 52-6. Yeah, Schwab wasn't resigned to give up the final 15 seconds. He ran Andre Dahl over for the reversal. So we're 7-5. That was a win by decision. Andre Dahl over Matt Schwab of Broncos at 215 pounds. So Hendrik Van Zyl out here for Napoleon. Russell Brock Lyons. Van Zyl going in on Lyons. 52-6, the dual score. Little trip by Lyons. Van Zyl backs out, going hard collars on Lyons. Pummel it in. There's Van Zyl. Lyons headlock, throws Van Zyl down. Working for a pin is Brock Lyons. Lyons looking for the Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel with the headlock. 30 seconds have expired. And Lyons working for a fall off the headlock here in the heavy man, and he wins by fall. The Broncos with the win by fall here at 285 pounds. Final dual score 58-6 in favor of the Broncos. The Broncos with the dual win 58-6. We're going to step away and come back for more from the North Sargent High School Activity Center here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
What's going on today?
I've got a planter in the shop, and I had the guys from Agassiz Precision Ag come over and do an inspection.
You upgrading systems, or are you working on maintenance?
Both, actually. We walked some fields last summer and found areas where we can improve. So we are installing Delta Force and some new opening discs.
Yeah, I bet we're in the same boat. I should give them a call.
Yep, they will come out and look over the planter with you and put a plan together. They are the guys I go to for answers.
Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Hey, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com as we're going through that Olson Accounting dual recap here from Olson County. If you need help with your monthly accounting payroll, let senior staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting. For all your tax and accounting needs, go to olsoncpa.com. In your final dual score, the Broncos over the Imperials by a score of 58-6. We opened up the duel at 107 pounds with Theo Hans, winner by decision over Trey Rowell, 11-5. The Broncos with the 3-0 dual lead. 114 pounds, 41-second win by fall for Micah Fromke over Brandon Grunike. And the Broncos with the 9-0 lead in the duel after 114 pounds. Jack Lucina and Seelig at 121 and 127 for Lisbon. Both pick up wins by forfeit. The Broncos 21-0 after 127. And Napoleon gets on the board at 113 pounds on that Bank North scoreboard, as it was Bo Grunfelder with the win by decision over Grayson Lyons 4-2. Our dual score 21-3. Andy Anderson for Lisbon picks up the win by forfeit. 27-3 is your dual score going into 145 pounds, where Griffin Greenlee with the egg precision move of the match with a nice fireman swims over the top for the near fall. As just a good sequence by Greenlee. And he picks up the win, major decision win, 15-3 over Weston Baumgartner, 31-3. This is the dual score in favor of the Broncos. And then we had a feature match of the night between number 2 Ryan Ing taking on the number 6 Bryce Schneider in Class B wrestling, according to Dakota Grappler. So the number 2 versus the number 6 at 152, and it was Ing, your winner by decision, 8-1. Our score 34-3 in the duel in favor of Lisbon. And then at 160 pounds, it was Cruz Ranke with a 32-second pin over Daniel Van Zyl. And Lisbon led 40-3. Lions picks up a win by fall over Aiden Mann. We're 46-3 after 172. 189 pounds, Lucina with the win by forfeit, 52-3 in favor of the Broncos. 215 pounds, another feature match between the number 7 ranked Schwab of Lisbon taking on the number 4 ranked Andre Dahl of Napoleon. And Dahl wins that by decision 7-5 over Schwab. Dual score 52-6, 3 more points for Napoleon on the Bank North scoreboard. And then it was Brock Lyons closed it out with a win by fall for Lisbon. And it's a 58-6 dual score, final dual score, as we head out of round 1 into round 2, as I expect that to start right around 10 minutes. So we'll say in about 5 minutes or less, as the captains look like on mat number 1, they're out on the mat right now. And that's Lisbon and Northern Cass for round 2. So we'll step away and take a word from our sponsors and come back for more wrestling from the North Sargent High School Activity Center.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Are you looking for the perfect hardwood for your next winter project? Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro has exciting news. Hardwood is now available in the Red River Valley only at Cywick. Whether you're a crafter, woodworker, or hobbyist, they have what you need to make your project. Choose from 3 convenient thicknesses and a beautiful variety of woods: red oak, cherry, white oak, hard maple, walnut, hickory, and poplar. Get started on your next masterpiece with the help of Cywick Lumber and Hardware, Hillsboro.
No job too big, no call too small. Bears Home Solutions handles it all. You need a bear in there, oh yeah. Keeping homes just right with expert care. Let our stars guide you when repairs scare. You need a bear in there.
Check out bearshomesolutions.com.
All right, welcome back here as mat number 1 is on the ball here as they're back in wrestling action. In your round number 2 is mat number 1, Lisbon versus Northern Cass. Mat 2, Napoleon versus Kindred. So that's your slate of matches for this quadrangular featuring Kindred, Lisbon, Northern Cass, and Napoleon. And we're starting at 107 once again. There should be Isaac Davidson. So Davidson out there wrestling Theo Hans of Lisbon. Hans picked up a win in their first duel over Trey Rao of Napoleon, won by decision. So Isaac Davidson out there with the double arm bars on Theo Hahn. And Northern Cass trying to take the early lead on Lisbon. Right now, Davidson has the 6-0 lead. 3 near fall and a takedown. 4 more near, or 3 more, see, 4 more near fall. So at a 3-point near fall. And the takedown, and then 2 near fall. So he's up 8-0, so he's able to get 2 points out of that. Goes back to the armbar on Hans. Here's still the first period. Hans will roll through. If he gave him 2 near fall again, so a couple more, collected up a couple more near fall. And that'll go into the second period. Hans picks top position. Davidson going to the bottom. Isaac Davidson, ranked number 5 at 107 pounds. Dakota Grappler rankings that just came out for Northern Cass, an 8th grader. Taking on the 7th grader, Theo Hans, with the escape, double legs it up. Hans kind of standing, lock-kneed and flat-footed, and Davidson just blasted through there with the takedown. And has the 14-0 lead. He's going to double it up on Theo Hans. As Davidson has been working the arm bars on Theo Hans, working those shoulders over, softening him up, now rolls him over. Hans is going to try to roll through edge of the mat. A lot of pressure there by Davidson. Davidson sits up, checks the stands, and he has the win by fall in the second period. So give it in 2:46. That win by fall for Isaac Davidson. And now the 6-0 lead going into 114 pounds. And for Northern Cass, Owen Steinberger and Micah Fromke. Fromke with the win by fall in the match against Napoleon with a cradle. So Fromke wrestling Steinberger. And Northern Cass, looking at their team from last year, they finished 30th at the state tournament, and they had a couple of returning state qualifiers, and Luke Walski and Anders Odnes. And not sure about Anders, but Luke Walski back in action this year. A 3-point takedown for Fromke. Fromke, second-year starter for Lisbon, wrestled 107 last year, now dropping down to 114 after the break. Has Steinberger on his belly, far center edge of the mat. Fromke now goes back to work underneath. Let's see if he can reach back through and roll through on the tilt. Not able to get it. Steinberger still defending over there. Fromke has the 3-0 lead, now goes on a crossface. Gonna try to walk this around, see if he can get him back in. Steinberger and Fromke. Fromke's gonna roll Steinberger over. Has the cradle locked up again, first period. Now with 34 seconds remaining, Steinberger in the fall for Micah Fromke. And 128 for Fromke with the win. We're tied up at 6 in the duel. Looks like Northern Cass is open at 121 and 127. Just going by the sheet. And there's Jack Lucina for Lisbon. And Brody Seelig, I believe, going out there at 127. That should be another open weight. There's Lisbon with a couple forfeits after the pin by Fromke, and 18-6. And that'll take you to 133. 133 for Northern Cass is Remington Burnside. And Grayson Lyons for Lisbon. So Lions in Burnside. Lions goes collar tie here at 133 pounds. Lisbon up in the duel by a score of 18-6. Looking at the Olson Accounting recap. It was Isaac Davidson winner by fall. And 246 over Theo Hans at 107 pounds. 114 pounds. It was Micah Fromke, your winner over Owen Steinberger by fall in a minute 28. We're tied up at 6, and then Lisbon picks up 2 forfeits at 121 pounds and 127 pounds. We're 18-6, 3-0 lead for Grayson Lions. Lions last year, a state qualifier for Lisbon at 121 pounds. Lions with Steinberger has him, with Burnside, trying to work a cradle. Has it clamped up over the top, tried to go hip to hip. Burnside did a good job hand fighting underneath. Now going 2-on-1 is Lions. Lions is going to go ball and chain. Has it hand caught underneath the legs. And then elbow to the back. He's just going to elevate this a little bit more. More elevation you get on it. Makes it a little easier to turn him over. And no near fall awarded. Goes armbar, grabs up that far wrist. Good counter by Burnside on it. And we're going to get potentially dangerous. Burnside did the right thing, threw the hips out. And posted that outside leg. So Lions not able to score any near fall. Final 18 seconds. And there's the cradle. Locked up by Lions into the period. And time expires. And we go into the second period with Lions up 7-0. After the near fall. Burnside bottom position off the whistle. Chop of the arm by Lions. Works in, spirals the wrist, spikes the back ankle. As Burnside now broke belly down, center of the mat, works power half, switches off, spirals the wrist, trying to dig the half inside. Burnside doing a good job. Staying strong, weathering the storm by Lions, but Lions with the cross face is going to lock the cradle up again. Throws the bottom knee in the side, just try to stabilize. And Burnside on the kick, kicks back out, rolls over to his belly. To 4 near fall. Lions up 11-0 after the 4 near fall. In the match, Lions in the first period, 3-point takedown, 4-point near fall off a cradle, another cradle with 4 near fall. Minute remaining in the second period. Dual score 18-6 in favor of the Broncos. Northern Cass picking up a win by fall at 107 pounds. That was Isaac Davidson over Theo Hans. And then Lisbon with the win by fall at 114. Fromke over Owen Steinberger. And the win by fall for Lions and the Broncos here at 133 pounds. Pin in a cradle in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Or excuse me, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So 3:14 on the pin for Lions and the Broncos. We're 24-6. Going into 139 pounds, and Anderson with another win by a forfeit. Ian Anderson is just stacking up the forfeits tonight. He has 2 now. (30-6) in the duel. 145 is Jackson Ness for Northern Cass, wrestling Griffin Greenlee. And Ness in on the leg. Go behind for Greenlee, up 3-0. Minute 40 remaining. Greenlee's going to go half Nelson. Had the far wrist caught, it's going to drag him up and over, resets. Keeps the half Nelson buried in deep on Jackson Ness of Northern Cass for the Jaguars. And Greenlee still working in the top position. Now the 1-point escape for Jackson Ness. Greenlee in the situation, spins back around behind. 3 more takedown for Griffin Greenlee. Greenlee bars it up. Gonna rock back with it, has the chin caught. Picks up the near fall. Has 4 near fall off of the turn. So we're 10-1. 10-1 off the near fall. Greenlee's working more near fall edge of the mat, keeps the toes in with the takedown. We're 13-2 off the escape. Now 15-2. We're 20 seconds remaining. First period. 15-3. Greenlee takedown with the dump. Puts him down in the win by tech fall for Greenlee in the first period. 3 escapes for Ness. Takedown near falls in that first period for Griffin Greenlee. 19-3 tech fall win. 35-6. I believe is the score. We're up here in that Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth for the winter edition of the wrestling schedule as we're here from North Sargent in the Activity Center. We're located up in that Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth, your small town bank, big time partner with Stock Growers mobile app experience, banking at your fingertips anytime, anywhere. Bank near so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Yeah, it looks like the officials are having some issues over on the far side with checking in wrestlers. As I think we're going to have a couple of forfeits here at 152 and 160. So 152, they're open. Looks like Nye Kerr will come out for Northern Cass at 160. So Cruz Ranke at 160 is out. Wrestling Nye Kerr of Northern Cass. Yeah, as they're now caught up at the scorer's table. Our dual score 41-6 going into 160 pounds. Ranke with the nice shuck, front headlock into the shuck, 3-point takedown for Ranke. Goes crossface, hard crossface Ranke. Nyker battling underneath, looking for hand control. Ranke goes into a chicken wing, has it barred up, wrist caught. On the far side, now has to change it up. Kerr goes belly down on the defense. Ranke with the bar, trying to work in a half. Kerr wings it up, kind of turtles up on the near side. Ranke's going to go back with the arm bar now with the half Nelson. Looks like he has the half. Still working the arm bar. Ranke. Now he's going to go just try to step back and see if he can pull him across. Chin drop now hits the bar arm with the bar half. Ranke turns over Kerr. Kerr with the bridge, still fighting out of it. Ranke's going to settle in with the bar half. Arm bar near side, far side was a half Nelson. Kerr able to get back belly down. Ranke will have 4 near fall. Still has the pinning combination hooked up. 43 seconds remaining in the first period. Our dual score 41-6 in favor of Lisbon. And we're back to a restart with 31 seconds remaining. So we do have 31 seconds remaining. First period, Ranky up 7-0. Takedown and 4 near fall for Cruz Ranky off a bar half with the near fall. Ranky ranked number 2 at 160 pounds. You might be wondering who he's ranked behind here at 160. And that's Cash Brown of Williams County. So Brown ranked number 1, Cruz Ranky ranked number 2. And there's the armbar at the end of the period. No near fall awarded. So we're 7-0. And Ranky for Lisbon at the state tournament, multiple time state place winner. We'll say 4th last year at 139 pounds, placed 4th the prior year for Lisbon. So 2-time state place winner, Cruz Ranky, the sophomore, ranked number 2 at 160 pounds, Class B North Dakota, 1-point escape. So Nye Curve, Northern Cass, and another front headlock into the shuck for another takedown. As he slung that pretty hard in the takedown for Ranky, he's up 11-0. Another crossface. Ranky with crossface over the top. Kerr able to defend it. Hand fight and peels it off. Ranky's going to go back to crossface. He wants the crossface on Kerr. Now goes half Nelson. Minute 5 remaining, second period. Over here on mat number 1 between Lisbon and Northern Cass. In round 2. In the first duel of the evening, the Broncos defeated Napoleon by a score of 58-6. And Ranky not able to get a turn on Nyker, doing a good job. Now he has a half Nelson in as he softened him up, working the arms and the shoulders. Kerr in some trouble. This is pretty tight. Ranky will have the forward near fall. See if he gets the pin or the tech fall out of this. Kerr trying to roll through. Ranky will readjust the hips. Ranky wants the pin out of this one. He's going to readjust, brings Kerr back. That arm trapped behind him. Final 15 seconds to win by fall for Ranky. Cruz Ranky, winner by fall over Nye Kerr. That's in 3 minutes and 44 seconds for Cruz Ranky. In the second period, 47-6 our score. And that's going to bump us to 172 pounds. Now Eli Lyons out for Lisbon. Lyons fishing underneath, now back out. No takedown yet awarded to Lyons. Mat return on the takedown. And Lyons here at 172-pound, wrestling Atticus Geetson of Northern Cass. The Lyons with the half, sunk it in deep, was working a bar half, just switched to the half, slammed it in there. Rolls Geetson over, goes chest on chest, trying to adjust it. Geetson in some trouble, back belly down. Lions near fall in the takedown, up 7-0. They're at 172 pounds. Looks like Northern Cass filling the upper weights with the football team as they got wrestlers from 160 to 285 filling those slots. And that does it. Winner by fall, Eli Lyons over Atticus Geetson in the first period. And that's in 1 minute and 22 seconds. So 1 minute 22 for Lyons. In the Broncos, 47-6. Lisbon up in the duel, 189 pounds. Here's Lucina and Luke Walski. Walski, returning state qualifier. For Northern Cass. off the whistle. Wrestlers working center of the mat. Little slide by, push away by Walski. And Walski ranked number 8, Dakota Grappler rankings for Northern Cass. Lacine honorable mention ranking for Lisbon at 189. And that's coming out of the Letterman's tournament. Both teams present at the Letterman's tournament. And wrestlers tied back up, just working edge of the mat. You're kind of near side edge of the mat. Got a good side crowd, a good sized crowd on the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth side, the east side of the gymnasium. Lucina and Walski still holding center of the mat. Final 40 seconds of the first period. Neither wrestler committing to any type of leg attack or upper body. Now they go down on the mat. Walski wants to take Lucina down. Lucina with the double unders. Works the head. Has the underhook. Walski's got to stretch it out. Lucina back in, trying to put the head in the hole. See if he can stay low and in position. Walski trying to drag out of it. Has a hold of the elbow. He's going to hold on to that. Walski back down, grabs the ankle. Final 10 seconds. Walski able to stretch it out. Oh, Lucina just missed it. If you'd was able to step over and hook the ankle, he just missed it. Time expires. And we're going scoreless second period between Lucina and Walski. One of the feature matchup up to this point of this duel. As our duel score 47, now 53-6. So 53-6 up on the Bank North scoreboard. Start of the second period. Walski's got to return Lucina. Lucina goes down, pops back up. Walski gets him back down. Now he spikes the back ankle. Lucina have to deal with that if he wants to separate. Knee slides through, and they're out back to the center for a restart. Still scoreless in this match. Second period, minute 37 remaining between Luke Walski and Riley Lucina. Walski returning state qualifier, ranked number 8. Dakota Grappler rankings at 189 pounds. Lucina honorable mention ranking. And Walski's going to spike the ankle. Crossface on Lucina, spirals the wrist near side. Knee slide out. Walski returns him. Well, Lucina has to find a way to get off the bottom now. Walski goes hard crossface over the top, grabs the wrist on Lucina, or Lucina grabs his wrist. See if Lucina is able to build his base. A minute remaining. Now a nice little hip heist back around. Lucina comes up to his feet. Walski is going to push him out. As Lucina's got to figure out his move from bottom, what works for him getting out of there. Right now, stuck down on the bottom with 54 seconds remaining. Walski just doing a good job keeping Lucina on the mat. Knee slide out. Lucina spiked the ankle by Walski. Walski goes crossface on Lucina. He's got this in pretty tight. He's going to try to walk it up, head to knee. Lucina's got a hand fight. Stretches it back out. Riley would take that wrist. He's kind of offering it up now, power half. Lucina keeping that head down in the mat, down to 30 seconds remaining. Got to get some wrist control, hand control there for Lucina. Still belly down. Walski goes armbar now. Final 15 seconds. Lucina's going to counter, still scoreless. And the other thing, all in all, Lucina's got to watch out. Final 5 seconds. Won't get dinged with it. Is stalling on the bottom. Not much movement there for Lucina as Walski kept him buried down in the mat. Walski with choice. Takes a look at the clock. And here we go, third period. 2 minutes on the clock between Walski and Lucina. Off the whistle, nice sit out. Tried to hit the switch off the whistle. Still hunting for the leg in the backside is Walski. Walski's going to quad pot up. Lucina working quad right underneath. Goes Merkel, has it hooked up on him. Walski, oh, and just missed it. Lucina had it hooked up. It slipped out. It was there, and the 2 reversal and some near fall. So we got 2 reversal and 2 near fall. And Lucina was right in position, and it just slipped out. So we're 4-0. Here, Luke Walski in the top position, down with 1:15 remaining. So Walski with the hammer lock, down to a minute. And Walski goes, works underneath, spirals the wrist on Lucina. Lucina not much of an attempt to build the base. Walski keeping that head buried down in the mat. Goes, digs out the wrist, half Nelson, trying to bar it up. Spirals the wrist, hammerlock again. Oh, Walski bars it up, far wrist. Final 30 seconds. Has the 4-0 lead. And now down to 20 seconds. Lucina not able to get any hand control. Control on top throughout there by Luke Walski. Has the armbar locked up. 10 seconds remaining. And we're 4-0 here between Walski and Lucina. And that'll do it for the period in the match. Oh, had 1 second. They'll just run the second off there. As we're 4-0, final score, Walski over Lucina. So number 8 takes out the honorable mention ranking number at 189, Lucina. So Walski over Lucina, 4-0. 53-9 with that win by decision. So we got a forfeit. Looks like at 2:15 to Schwab. So we're going to go out at heavyweight. This should be a good matchup. Here, Caden Williams. At 285 for Central Cass. In the first period, Brock Lyons for Lisbon. Caden Williams for Northern Cass. They're at 285 pounds. And wrestler is off the edge of the mat. Go back to the center for a restart, minute 19 remaining. Dual score 59-9 after that win, or after the forfeit. And that was at 215 pounds. Here's Lyons wrestling Caden Williams. And down in the final 45 seconds of the first period. Lyons still trying to work inside. See if he can catch old Caden Williams. Williams doing a good job. Collar tie, snap down on Lyons. Lyons passes the elbow. Williams comes back in. Now over tie under by each wrestler. Williams tried to step in on Lyons. Lyons working collar tie. Final 15 seconds. Lyons will try to snap down. Williams not budging at this point. And that'll do it. Final 5 seconds. First period. We're going scoreless. scoreless into the second period. They have to get the clock reset. As they still have 1 second on it from the previous period, so not sure. Yes, had a little clock malfunction, and now they got 2 minutes on the clock. Lions in the bottom position, so they'll probably have to run off. Could run off 5 seconds at least. As they got that now switched and taken care of. Your dual score 59-9 in favor of Lisbon. Nice sit out, pip ice back around. Lions going to try to stand up. Williams grabs the leg inside, underhook, headlock rip by Caden Williams. Lions goes down, single leg, runs the pipe, drops down. Caden Williams to his hip. Lions is going to try to run this over, establishes control for the takedown. Takes the 3-0 lead, or 4-0 lead after the escape and the takedown. The Lions drops down, runs the pipe, takes Williams down to the mat with that level change. So now we're second period, minute 18 remaining. Oh, nice roll through. Williams tried to roll through. Lions able to sink it in, the win by fall. Brock Lions at 285 pounds. Lions with the hard half picks up your Agassi Egg Precision move of the match here at 285 pounds with that win by fall. And that's a second period win. The Broncos 65-9 in this duel over Northern Cass Jaguars. And Brock Lions, Agassi Egg Precision move of the match with that win by fall. A big half Nelson rolls over Caden Williams. And the Broncos win this duel 65-9. We're going to step away, take a word from our sponsors. They'll come back and give you our Olson Accounting duel recap in just a moment.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Hey, welcome back here as we're back for our Olson Accounting recap of this duel between the Lisbon Broncos and the Northern Cass Jaguars here on mat number 1. And this match and duel started at 107 pounds as it was Isaac Davidson for Northern Cass, your winner by fall in 2 minutes, 46 seconds at 107 pounds. Northern Cass took the early 6-0 lead. Micah Fromke with the win by a pin in a minute 28 with a cradle, tied the duel up. That was the win over Owen Steinberger at 114. We're tied up at 6. Jack Lucina at 121 and Brody Seelig at 127 come out and they take forfeits. And it was 18-6 after 127 pounds going into 133. Grayson Lions with your win by fall in 3 minutes 14-6 over Remington Burnside. 24-6 the dual score. And then it was Ian Anderson at 139, his second forfeit of the night. Wins with the forfeit. Broncos up 30-6. Griffin Greenlee win by tech foul over Jackson Ness at 145. Lisbon led 35-6. Ryan Ng at 152 pounds picks up a forfeit for Lisbon, 41-6. Cruz Ranke, your winner by fall in 3 minutes 44 seconds over Nye Kerr. That's 47-6, your dual score. Eli Lyons with the win by fall in a minute 22, 53-6, the dual score. And Luke Walski picking up the win against a couple of the ranked wrestlers at 189 pounds. Walski ranked number 8, Lucina, honorable mention ranking. That was a 4-0 win for Luke Walski. Walski putting it away in the third period with a, let's see, with an escape and near fall, and it was 53-9. Going into 2:15, Lisbon picks up a forfeit, 59-9, and Brock Lyons, your winner by fall with that Egg precision move of the match. That came in the second period. That was a 65-9 dual win for Lisbon on your Olson Accounting dual recap. And that brings us to our Egg precision move of the map here for precision move of the match, or precision move of the duel for Agassi Precision Egg, your local precision planning dealer. Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsborough. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. And that is going out, as we said, to Brock Lyons. We're going to give it to Brock Lyons not only on that half Nelson rolling over for the fall, but on that single leg takedown. Nice level change as he had the single leg up, and you'd have had to strain and put a lot of effort in to try to pick up Caden Williams on that single leg, but he did the right thing. He did the level change, ran the pipe, and took Williams down on his hip, and that was really key for winning that match. Once he got Williams down in that bottom position, Lyons was able to throw in that half Nelson, then on the after a restart and win by fall, and that is the Agassi precision move of the match going out to Brock Lyons of the Lisbon Broncos. And then your Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life. Enbridge.com for career opportunities. That's going to go out to Luke Walski, picking up that ranked win at 189 pounds. Number 8, Luke Walski, won by a decision 4-0 over Riley Lucina. Walski with the ride out in that second period on Riley Lucina, not surrendering a point, kept Lucina down on the mat and just wore him down throughout that match as he would pick up the reversal and 2 near fall on Lucina. Lucina in that match was able to hook up that Merkel, so he had the kind of the head cradle hooked up and the near leg laced in on Walski and started to flip him over, but somehow Walski was able to slip out of that and picked up the reversal and 2 near fall. And Luke Walski picking up your Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel. Life takes energy from Enbridge, energy for life. Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And that is your final duel score. Lisbon 65, Northern Cass 9. And we will step away. We'll see if we can get you caught up on mat number 2 action as we're going to take a break and then come back for more wrestling from the North Sargent High School Activity Center here on YourLiveEvent.com.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Sharing our heritage, sharing our future. Choosing the right bank for your financial needs can be challenging with the many choices available. Dakota Heritage Bank is pleased you're interested in knowing more about what they can do for you. The Dakota Heritage Bank community bank setting is a strong advantage they have over larger, less personal banks. Customers are more than account numbers, they are friends and neighbors. Working together, Dakota Heritage Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Get ready to make a true impact on the farm. Introducing the HDSR series of staggered rippers from Degelman Industries. At the heart of the machine is the HDSR's staggered two-row setup, which allows for better trash flow and lower draft than an inline ripper. Featuring a shorter implement contour length, easier transport, and better compaction shattering ability than the competitors. The HDSR series from Degelman Industries is engineered tough. Visit our website for more information.
Hey, welcome back here at LiveEvent.com. We're still on round 2 of this quad here from the North Sargent High School Activity Center. And we have your duel over on mat number 2 between Kindred and Napoleon. That current duel score 39-7. They're at 215 pounds. Currently Andre Dahl wrestling Tanner Mengi. Mengi ranked number 3 in Class B Dakota Grappler rankings as He's out there bumped up the weight to wrestle Andre Dahl. Dahl ranked number 5 in Class B. And that's Mengi with the takedown. So I believe that's a 3-0 lead for Tanner Mengi in that match, as Kindred leads that by a score of 39-7. And they are at 215 pounds, so just one more weight class to go. Over on mat 2 after the 215. Currently Kindred up 39-7. That first duel in round 1 action, it was Lisbon over Napoleon by a score of 58-6, and then Kindred defeated Northern Cass by a score of 60-9. And then in the second round, your final score on mat number 1 was Lisbon 65, Northern Cass 9. And our current dual score on mat number 2 between Kindred and Napoleon, it's 39-7. And they're at 215 pounds out there, Tanner Mengi and Andre Dahl wrestling. And Mengi in the bottom position. So looks like start of the second period, as the clock for this mat is on the wall I cannot see, the same wall that I'm broadcasting out of up here in that Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. As the 1-point escape. And the slide by attempt by Dahl. Dahl picking up the win over Schwab earlier this evening. And now Mengi on another single leg takedown. Has head in the hole. Switches over to a single. Mengi with the backwards trip. Takes Dahl down. Another 3-point takedown here for Tanner Mengi. If I score this right, should be 7-0 score. So our score is 7-0. Mengi's up. In the top position, working over the top. Andre Dahl with that white singlet blue trim. In the bottom position, Dahl trying to hold his base. Mengi working the back ankle. Has the leg turked. Stepping over the top, so has the leg turk. Goes to half Nelson here, trying to roll over Andre Dahl. Dahl in a little bit of trouble, goes over, rolls through. As Tanner Mengi tried to bulldog him over. And not able to settle in. Dahl rolls out with the escape. So I believe we're 7-1 going into the third period. And Dahl has choice. He'll choose bottom. So Mengi with the opportunity. Had Dahl going to his back towards that far edge of the mat. Dahl was able to slip through and scores the escape. 7-1. Andre Dahl ranked at 215 pounds. And back to the center for a restart. Dahl ranked number 5. And Mengi that's at 215. Tanner Mengi ranked number 3. Tanner Mengi for Kindred. A state runner-up at 172 pounds last year. Placed 7th the year before. So 2025 state runner-up. 2024 Tanner Mengi placed 7th. And then Andre Dahl last year at 215 pounds placed 7th at the state tournament, state qualifier the prior year in 24 for Napoleon. And Dahl stands up trying to isolate with the escape. Well, Dahl scores the 2-point or the 1-point escape. 7-2, I believe, is our score. Mengi does have the lead, I know that much. And that dual score going into 215 pounds was 39-7 in favor of Kindred over Napoleon. Underhook, big underhook by Andre Dahl. Here on the near side. Wrist control. Little head work by Dahl. Dahl's going to go in hard again on Mengi. We saw Dahl. He applies the pressure. Mengi is going to take that. Drops down. High crotch fireman attempt. Dahl back to his base. Working collar tie now. Far side with the underhook. Now goes over the top here for Andre Dahl. Working on Tanner Mengi, center of the mat. We did see Dahl's able to apply the pressure in that first match against Schwab. Really brought the forward pressure on Schwab. And now with the shot, Mengi's going to take advantage. Down blocks. It's the go behind right into a cradle. I think the score is 10-2. Dahl flattens out Mengi. Looks like he's just happy to hang on. And the towel tapper is out there. And that should be your final score. Tanner Mengi, your winner. And that's at 215 pounds. So Mengi bumping up, wrestles Andre Dahl at 215 pound. There, Tanner Mengi over Andre Dahl. And that'll take the dual score to 45-7. 45-7 going into the heavyweights here at 285 pounds. So Hendrik Van Zyl for Napoleon. So Hendrik Van Zyl out there. And Kaysen Nudell for Kindred. Nudell with the collar goes into Van Zyl of Napoleon. It's just the start here. 285 pounds. Final match in this duel in our second round on mat number 2 between Kindred and Napoleon. If you're just tuning in, that first round action, Lisbon defeated Napoleon 58-6. There's a 3-point takedown for Nudell. As he will score the 3-point takedown. Now goes to work. Hammerlock on top of Van Zyl of Napoleon. Kindred in those dark blue singlets with the white trim. He has the hammerlock. Now the far wrist caught in an armbar. Van Zyl goes over. Nudell working for a fall, edge of the mat. And the win by a fall over on mat 2. For Kaysen Nudell of Kindred. He's your winner by fall over Hendrik Van Zyl of Napoleon. And that'll do it for this round of duels. Round 2 duels. We'll come back for round 3. Just to recap. Okay, 48-7 was the final in that one. All right, 48-7, that final, Kindred and Napoleon. So to recap our duels for this evening. Round 1, it was Lisbon versus Napoleon. Lisbon defeated Napoleon by a score of 58-6. And then Kindred defeated Northern Cass by a score of 60-9. In round 2, Lisbon over Northern Cass 65-9. And Kindred defeats Napoleon by a score of 39-7. So we will step away. We'll take a break and then come back for more wrestling action for round 3. It's Kindred versus Lisbon and Napoleon versus Northern Cass. That's here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullis & Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullis & Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullis & Olson Agency.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Hey, welcome back here, YourLiveEvent.com, as we're heading into round 3 as we just finished up our round 2 duels. That final score in round 2, Lisbon over Northern Cass by a score of 65-9, and then Kindred defeated Napoleon. That final duel score 48-7, and we're going to head into round 3. We're going to step away. We'll take another word from our sponsors on YourLiveEvent.com.
In Fargo, we had no idea where to start. A friend told us to call First Class Mortgage, and I'm so glad we did. They explained every step, answered all of our questions, and made us feel completely at ease. We closed on time and even got a better rate than expected. If you're buying or refinancing, trust me, call First Class Mortgage. They really do live up to their name.
First Class Mortgage is locally owned. Visit firstclasscorp.com for more info.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Hey, welcome back here at LiveEvent.com as we're back for round 3 here. Mat #1, Lisbon versus Kindred, and mat #2, Napoleon versus Northern Cass. You look at the Lisbon Broncos in dual action. They improved their record to 6-1 with those 2 dual victories this evening, and they are 3-1 in Southeast Subregion as they're going to take on the Kindred Vikings, as Kindred currently sits at 4-0 with 2 more dual wins. That makes them at 6-0. And now 4-0 in the Southeast Subregion in dual competition as they're here for the showdown between the Broncos and the Vikings. And the key matchups, let's try to take a look and see if we have some of these key matchups here in this duel. As 127 pounds would have been a great match between Gavin Swenson and Noah Anderson. Anderson out for the week with an injury, so not wrestling this evening at 127 pounds. That would have been the #2 versus the #1 in state, but Anderson going down in that final championship match there at the Lindeman's tournament. And Swenson now the #1 ranked wrestler at 127 pounds. So we're starting right away on this one. Theo Hans, Jaden Rude. Rude, the 8th grader. Hans, the 7th grader from Lisbon. Rude right away with the takedown, up 3-0. And then looking at 152, possible matchup between Ryan Eng, Noak Swenson, Miles Theolgis, and Cruz Ranke at 160 pounds. Should be a good matchup. #2, #4, Tanner Mengi and Riley Lacine at 189. Another possible ranked matchup as both teams looking to score as many bonus points as they can in this duel. Seeding implications on the line for the Southeast subregion here as Rude with the near fall runs it over on Hans. Hans gives up has the 4 near fall. So Jaden Rude does have the 4 near fall over here on mat 1. Mat 2 has yet to start. I expect this duel to take a little bit of time between Kindred and Lisbon. As Hans still trying to bridge out, under a minute remaining in the first period. And the win by fall, Jaden Rude in the first period over Theo Hans of Lisbon. So 1 minute and 11 seconds and the 6-0 lead. At 107 pounds. Now Nola Mengi, Micah Fromke, interesting matchup. If you're looking for a 50-50 and what could decide the duel, may come right here at 114 pounds. Between Fromke and Mengi. So you like to focus on those ranked matchups and the head-to-head with the bigger names and more established wrestlers, but we're down here. Micah Fromke, 114 pounds, and Nola Mengi, if I was going to circle one, the key matchup, it'd be here at 114. And underhook by Mengi. Fromke goes to lap drop. And the 3-0 takedown, so Fromke went lap drop on Mengi. And now Fromke's going to try to work a roll out of this. Doubles up on Mengi. And no loss of control. So we're 3-0. Tanner Mengi has the early lead. And off the whistle on the restart. Mengi working underneath. Going to try to split the legs back here. Turk the legs. He's going to Turk it. So good job by Mengi. Turks the leg on Fromke. Fromke in some trouble, giving up some near fall. Mengi working underneath. Now goes back to trying to work on the back ankle and leg on Fromke. A stall warning on Red. Red just hanging on the ankle. So the stall warning issued there to Tanner Mengi. Fromke's down 3-0. With 41 seconds remaining first period. We're over here on mat number 1. Between Lisbon and Kindred. Kindred in the duel picks up the win by fall in the first period. Minute 11 win by fall for Jaden Rude over Theo Hans. 6-0 lead in the duel. So Fromke in the bottom position. He's down 3-0 for Lisbon. Lisbon red singlets with the gold trim. Fromke has the wrist, trying to isolate it. Mengi's still riding that back ankle. He was warned for stalling earlier, riding the back ankle. Final 5 seconds, still riding it there. Fromke not able to pass it. And no stall warning at the end of the period. And the deferral from Fromke over to Mengi. Looks like Lisbon with choice even numbered matches, and Mengi chooses neutral. So Mengi with the neutral on their feet. He has the 3-0 lead. He picked up that takedown as Fromke went for a lat drop, had the over-unders. Thought he felt it, and Mengi just able to flatten out, picked up the takedown, no near fall. He has the 3-0 lead. Mengi can break this one open a little bit here with the takedown. Fromke looking to tie it up. Mengi working underneath, goes high crotch into the fireman's. Fromke still working. Mengi's going to work in deep on the fireman's. High crotch on Fromke. Fromke sprawls out, trying to hit the go behind, see if he can hook the ankle. He does. Mengi breaks him down, cracks him down on a hip. Fromke's just got to try to scoop his now the 3-0, the 3-point takedown. We're tied up at 3 apiece. So we're tied up at 114 pounds between Mengi and Fromke. Fromke will have choice. Now the half Nelson locked in. Fromke and Mengi's on the hip here is Fromke. Mengi was able to catch the heel hook as Fromke is coming over the top to stick in the boot on the near side. working the edge of the mat. So crossface over the top by Fromke of Lisbon. Mengi sits out, Fromke back around, throws in the leg ride. Leg in the near side, working over the top, crossface, not able to get anything going. Mengi back up to his base. We're tied up at 3, the final 5 seconds of this second period. Mengi on his hip, Fromke bottom position. Mengi's gonna walk back around, time expires. And we go into the next period. And Fromke's going to pick top with Tanner Mengi. He picked up the takedown. Now going top. We're tied up at 3. Off the whistle, Fromke throws in the leg. Double boots it up now. Going to try to apply some pressure. Stretched out a little bit high. Mengi felt it. He has Fromke high in the top position. So Mengi's going to stack up Fromke, and choosing top's going to come to bite him a little bit here as a 2-point reversal. Yeah, staying active in bottom position is Nolan Mengi. Mengi's up now by 2 points, 5-3. Fromke's got to get to work here in the third period. Fromke's going to try to roll through. He's got to watch so he doesn't get caught. He has the back leg caught on Mengi. We're 5-3. Nolan Mengi with the 2-point lead. Here in the third period, Fromke going to try to walk it around, see if he can get the reversal. He's head hunting. Now he's going to step across. Mengi's going to try to get a stalemate out of it. Fromke still trying to advance it, still pulling out the back. We'll see if they let him wrestle it out. Here's Fromke. Fromke still working. Oh, he doesn't have the reversal yet. He's got to get behind him. Mengi still has the leg on Fromke. Down to 35 seconds remaining. And Mengi's hanging on. Fromke doesn't have any points yet. 5-3. Mengi still hard on the leg. We're 25 seconds. And still no points. Mengi's able to get him up in the 2 reversal. So 2 reversal for Fromke. Fromke's going to try to pull this out. Final 10 seconds. We're going to be tied up at 5 apiece with the reversal. So we do have the 2 reversal. Mengi's got 1 second to get out. Fromke survives. 1 minute on the clock. Sudden victory. First overtime here. Sudden victory overtime. Mengi and Fromke. As the gym getting loud here in the activity center from North Sargent High School. As we're 5-5. Fromke, Mengi still rolling. Fromke is going to get caught. Mengi is going to work for a fall. As that's it, the win by decision with the takedown. So Fromke gets burned a couple times going for the upper body, went for the headlock in that period in the sudden victory, and then tried the lat drop, not working out for him. And we're 8-5. Nolan Mengi with the win by decision in the sudden victory. With the 3-point takedown, 9-0. Kindred has the lead, and they're going to look to stack up some points with a couple open weights here at 121 pounds. Swanson, Bristol Swanson will take a forfeit at 121-127. Brody Seelig wrestling Gavin Swenson. Brody Seelig going out there for Lisbon. Noah Anderson out of the lineup. Swenson in right away with the takedown. Takes Seelig to his back, so we got the takedown, and we're 15-0 in the duel. After 121 pounds in that Olsen accounting recap, as Jaden Rude win by fall, minute 11 over Theo Hans at 107 for Kindred. 114 pounds, it was Nolan Mengi, winner by decision. 8-5 sudden victory over Micah Fromke. Dual score 9-0. 121 pounds, forfeit by Lisbon to Bristol Swanson. 15-0 is your dual score here at 127 pounds between Brody Seelig and Gavin Swinson. Here's Swinson and Seelig. Still in the top position. Seelig doing a lot of hanging on, just trying to establish some wrist control. Swenson's going to go double boots. Oh, just has a leg ride, leg in on the near side. Seelig back up to his base. Here Swenson's going to go half Nelson, and Kindred has the 15-0 lead. They're trying to increase this one now to 21-0. If they pick up a fall here, final 30 seconds of our first period. Looking for some bonus points is Gavin Swinson. He has the arm caught behind his head. Seelig trying to get belly down. Final 19 seconds of this first period. Swenson's going to go readjust. Seelig still trying to bridge out of it. Coach probably told him just don't get pinned out there against the number one guy in the state here at 127 pounds. And Seelig survives, gets into the second period with Swinson. Broncos also out of the lineup. Gavin Robertson also out this week. He's battling through an injury from the Letterman's tournament, so Lisbon without Anderson and Robertson in the lineup. Off the whistle, hits the Peterson roll, comes back around on Seelig. He's going to pick up has the 7-0 lead with the takedown in the near fall. Now the reversal and more near fall coming for Swinson. Seelig in the win by fall. Off the Peterson roll. Could be your egg precision move of the match there with that Peterson roll by Gavin Swinson. See how this one shapes up. Yeah, it's 21-0. And go to 133 pounds. Big matchup here at 133 between Rude and Lyons. And the double leg by Rude. Rude coming all the way back through the wrestlebacks. And I believe he placed third at the Letterman's tournament. Remember if he lost in the first or second round, but battled has made it through the grind of the Letterman's. 5 or 6 rounds of wrestlebacks to place third. Here for Gavin Rude for Kindred. Out here wrestling Grayson Lyons. Lyons placed 5th. Rude down on a single leg here. Battle at 133 pounds. And Rude still down there. Lyons with the whizzer. Rude was in good position. Lyons kept that whizzer buried in there. Now Rude in the bottom of this situation position. Wrestling from underneath. You're at 133 pounds as Gavin Rude ranked number 7. Lyons number 8. As we did see Bo Grunfelder picked up a win against Lyons. Not sure who won between Grunfelder and Rude in their previous duel. So here's Lyons, still scoreless with Gavin Rude. Now Lyons in the top position, trying to turn the quarter. Rude back up to his feet. Lyons still working over the top, final 28 seconds of the first period. Rude back up. Lyons with that forehead buried in the shoulder on Rude. Still trying to be the aggressor out there, Grayson Lyons, keeping the pressure on Gavin Rude. Now Rude circles back. Lyons tries to hit the duck under. Rude hits the double. The doubles on Lyons. Lyons thought he was going to hit the duck under into a, that's been time. And Lyons thought he was going to hit the duck under on Rude. So that'll go some near fall and takedown. So it's at least 5-0. What they're talking about is the towel tapper. The time had been out, and the towel tapper was tapping the official. The official just hadn't blown the whistle. So we are 5-0 as Lions tried to duck under. Rude catches him with the pancake and just holds him there for the takedown. And 2 near fall. Here's Lions back to the center of the mat on the start. It's 7-0 with the reversal. So we're 7-0. Minute 25 remaining in the second period between Rude and Lions. Rude bars up Lions on the near side. Lions on his hip in the bottom. Wearing the red singlet and the gold and white trim. Now Rude just trying to keep the pressure. Lions with the hand posted on the far side. Trying to build up to his feet. Rude over the top, cradles him up a little bit. Lions forced back to go down to his base. Rude's going to stick in leg near side. Back around, Lions misses the head. Rude's going to stick in the leg and try to stretch him out. He has a half Nelson buried in on the near side. See if Lions can shake him off. Rude doing a good job now. Gets the boot in on both sides. Still working it in underneath. Stretches out Lions. Lions missed the opportunity as he just wasn't able to get the head on Rude. And now Rude in control. Has Lions buried down to the match final 15 seconds of the period. Rude with the 7-0 lead. So 21-7, or excuse me, 21-0 in the duel. Kindred leads. Lions is down 7-0. And started the third period. Lions picks neutral with Rude. You'd have to have 3 takedown, 4 near fall to tie this one up on a feet to back. Lions with the ankle pick attempt. Rude's going to step away from it. Rude with the takedown and near fall at the end of the first period. Then the reversal has the 7-0 lead. Has double unders again on Lions. Lions now isolates the wrist. Hunting for an ankle again. Back up to his feet. Final minute in the third period. Rude has the win by decision so far here at a 7-0. Lions going to try to drag him back. Goes down cross ankle. Rude with the underhooks. Been able to stop any attack by Lions digging in those underhooks. Lions has to back out. Now final 40 seconds, third period. And Lions goes back underneath. Still 20 seconds remaining, third period. Lions underneath, has the far arm. An elbow caught. Back up to his feet. And the three-point stance, Rude on top. Makes a swipe at the leg. Final 5 seconds. Lions goes down. And that'll do it. 7-0. Gavin Rude with the win by decision. 7-0. Dual score 24-0. Lisbon running out of weight classes to mount a comeback here. Ian Anderson looks like he'll take the third forfeit for Ian tonight. I don't know what's going on with 139. 3 forfeits for Anderson. (24-6). Lisbon with their first points. And 145 pounds. 24-6 to score. Greenlee and Jordheim. So Jacob Jordheim or Kindred wrestling Griffin Greenlee for Lisbon. Greenlee with the takedown has the early 3-0 lead with the takedown. Griffin Greenlee, 3-time state place winner for Lisbon. Last year placed 3rd at 145 pounds, placed 7th in 24 and 6th in 2023. And the 1-point escape for Jordheim. Greenlee is gonna, and just picks him up on the double leg shot. You're at 145. Greenlee ranked number 4. Greenlee on another takedown. Our duel score 24-6. Broncos' only points this far come at 139 pound with a forfeit by Kindred. Lisbon with the forfeit at 121 pounds. So we're 6-1. Greenlee had a cradle locked up. Jordheim able to get that toe in there. Greenlee not able to turn him now. Greenlee working on trying to isolate a wrist in the hammerlock, not able to get it. Final 15 seconds. Jordheim with the Granby out. Greenlee follows him around, followed it up, keeps him down on the mat. 11 seconds remaining, first period. So 11 seconds, and off the whistle, Greenlee chops the arm. Jordheim tries to knee slide out. Hits the Granby. Greenlee's going to try to catch him, see if he can get a couple points at the end of the period. He's going to pick up at least 1 count, just missed 2 at the end of the period. We are 6-1. Jordheim going bottom position. Greenlee's going to let him go neutral. Jordheim follows that up. Greenlee looked like he might have twisted an ankle or something out there after that shot, or stubbed his toe. Something happened out there. Jordheim saw that, followed it up with a double leg shot. Greenlee was able to down block and grabs an underhook on the near side. He's going to elevator, goes over the top, catches Jordheim, and just finessed him with that. He forced that elevator pin for Greenlee, and that is the Agassi precision move of the match there. Griffin Greenlee with the win by fall. Greenlee finessed the elevator. Knew his team needed the points. So the senior coming out, putting it out there for the team on that one. Finessed the elevators, the win by fall. And that's 12-24 now, the dual score. Greenlee with the Agassi precision move of the match coming up there. Here's Ryan Eng. Noak Swenson here at 152 pounds. Eng going to come out. Scramble with Swenson. Swenson's trying to work back around to the ankle. Eng's going to try to get those hips turned up. He's going to step over. Not able to step over. Now with the go behind, up 3-0. With a minute 35 remaining. Swenson and Eng scrapping it out. First 40 seconds. As we're settled down now. Swenson and Eng still going at it. Eng's going to step up. Missed the Turk on the leg there. Good scramble. Swenson not slowing down. They're at 152, keeping the pressure on Eng. Eng able to hang with him so far in that top position. And there's Ryan Eng, has the pin, or the half Nelson hooked up. The shoulder can't be up by much, but the officials down there had a good look at it. And the forward near fall for Ryan. With 40 seconds remaining, minute 20 gone by, Eng has the 7-0 lead. Had Swenson stacked up pretty good. Now Eng back riding in the top position with 24 seconds remaining. Here at 152 pounds, Ryan Eng, Noak Swenson. Swenson ranked number 8 at 152 pounds. Eng ranked number 2. Eng coming off the big championship run at 152 pounds at the Litterman's tournament. As the armbar hooked up, final 5 seconds. Time will expire in the period, as it looks like we're all out of time. And they'll go to the second period. Eng chooses bottom position. So Eng is in the bottom position. Off the whistle. Stand up attempt. There's Swenson. Swenson's going to go into an armbar on Ryan. Well, Swenson still in control on top. Eng in situation position, going to try to turn the corner. We'll see if Ryan's able to turn the corner. Not able to do it. As the Eng with the reversal, so he has a 2-point reversal. We're now 9-0. Here Ryan Eng with the lead. So Ryan Eng has the lead. The final 40 seconds. Eng's going to go Merkel, throws him over, throws Swenson over. Swenson's going to give up some near fall. Eng has the 9-0 lead. Swenson Eng readjusts. Now with a good pinning combination with the half Nelson. Chest on chest for Ryan Eng. Is going to squeeze. And we're down to 22 seconds. Right shoulder up on Swenson just a little bit. Swenson sees where he's at. He's going to try to get out on Eng here. Eng's going to have to readjust, keep those toes in. Final 10 seconds of the period. Swenson survives in the 4-point near fall. 13-0. 7 seconds remaining, second period. So 7 seconds remain, second period, 152 pounds. Number 2, Ryan Eng has the 13-0 lead on Noak Swenson of Kindred. Kindred ranked Swenson ranked number 8. Going into the third. Wrestlers on their feet. Eng has the 13-0 lead. Eng in on the takedown. He's going to go try to trap the farm, see if he can take him feet to back on the takedown. Ryan's working in. Still no points awarded. Final minute 40 of this match between Ryan Eng and Noak Swenson. Swenson working around on the top. Eng's going to, and they gave him the 3-point takedown. Eng still trying to work around here with Swenson. Now 13-3. Ryan working, going to try to isolate the wrist on Swenson. And scoot the hips. Now Swenson working over the top. Tries to go inside cradle. Eng goes inside on the high crotch. Swenson doing a good job keeping the pressure down on Ryan Eng. with 1:05 remaining. Goes to the ankle, spikes it on the backside. Eng wants to get some extra points for his team. He's got to get to work. Swenson doing a good job. Eng's going to reach up. Swenson hits him with a half Nelson. Eng takes a look at the clock. 13-3, the 10-point lead for Ryan Eng. He was up 13-0. Swenson hanging on. Hips away for Ryan. See, Ryan has 20 seconds, now 25 seconds with Swenson. The 1-point escape. Swenson goes back down on the leg on Eng. Eng's going to go. Underneath there for Ryan Eng, 14-3. Here was Swenson. And that'll go 160 pounds as time expires. Nope, got to wait for 3 seconds, so there's 3 seconds on the clock. And we're 14-3 here between Eng and Swenson. 1-point escape for Ryan. And that'll do it. The clock still didn't start. So 14-3. (24-15) is the score in the duel. Ranke taking on Theelgis. This has been a matchup head-to-head for the past couple years. Now Ranke and Theelgis out there. You're at 160 pounds. A dual score 24-16. Say 24-15. 24-16, that was a win by major decision for Eng. So we are at 160 pounds. Here's Ranke. Thiel just working an overtie. Ranke pushes him off, backs up, a little bit of space between the two now. And looking at Miles Thiel just for the last couple years, last 2 years, placed fourth at 152 pounds in 2025 at the state tournament, fourth the year before. Both of these wrestlers. Looks like also with Ranke. Ranke placed fourth last year at 139 pounds and fourth the year prior in 2024. And Ranke seated or ranked number 2 by Dakota Grappler rankings here at 160 pounds. Ranke's going to try to spin around, catches the leg. Thiel just, Ranke doubles up on Thiel, just picks him up. He's got to return him safely. Thiel just good job defending. Ranke gets him down on the hip. The takedown for Cruz Ranke. Miles Thiel just ranked number 4 behind Zaid Higher number 3 of Oaks. Miles Thiel just Kindred number 4 at 160 pounds. Ranke with the 3-0 lead with the takedown. As we go off the deferred over to Ranke. Ranke chooses bottom with Thiel just. He'll take the 3-0 lead. You're looking at that Olson Accounting recap. Kindred at 107 pounds. They picked up the win. The win by fall. Jaden Root over Theo Hans. Nolan Mengi winner by decision over Micah Fromke. It was 9-0 dual score at 114. Swanson picked up a forfeit for Kindred. 15-0 in favor of Kindred. Kindred with a win by foul was Swenson over Seelig. 21-0 in the duel. going into 133 pounds, and it was Gavin Rude, your winner, 7-0 over Grayson Lyons, 24-0 dual score. Anderson of Lisbon with the win by forfeit, 24-6 dual score. Greenlee pins Jager Jordheim with that Agassi Egg precision move of the match with that elevator. Now Ranke with the 1-point escape. 4-0 is your match score here at 160 pounds between Ranke and Theelgis. That was at 145 with that Agassi Egg precision move of the match for Griffin Greenlee with that elevator. 24-12 dual score going into 152. Ryan Eng, your winner by major decision. 14-3 over Noak Swenson. So the number 2, Ryan Eng, defeats the number 8, Noak Swenson. Your dual score 24-16 here. Now at 160 pounds with your Olsen Accounting match recap or dual recap to this point. Ranke in the match up 4-0. Ranke picked up a takedown in the first period off a nice double leg. Was able to elevate it. Gets Theelgis down on the hip, and now the 1-point escape. He has the 4-0 lead with 18 seconds. Theelgis with the leg attack. Final 15. Ranke stands back up, down blocks it. Now he's looking for an ankle. Ranke cross ankle. Has an underhook on the near side. Final 10 seconds of the period. And that'll do it going into the third. Ranke up 4-0. We'll score 4-0. And off the whistle, Theelgis looking for the escape. He has the escape. A takedown will tie this up between Theelgis and Ranke. Ranke coming off the Letterman's Championship at 160 pounds. Broncos going back to back to back at 152, 160, and 172 at the Letterman's for the individual championships at those weights, and that propelled them into that individual team title at the Letterman's. As Ranke has the 4-1 lead with Theelgis of Kindred wearing that blue singlet with the white trim around the legs. Down to 1:05 remaining. Ranke with a little separation now reaches out. Long reach by Ranke for the neck. Theelgis shrugs it off. Level change, you could see that coming. I think he was waiting for Ranke to reach again. There's a lot of space though. A little bit too far away for that shot by Theelgis, and Ranke down blocks it. Now goes ankle pick, follows that up, double unders. Theelgis with the overs on Ranke. Ranke still working underneath. Theelgis spins back around, not giving up on it. And we're going to go back to the center. 4-1 is your lead for Ranke. 36 seconds remaining. That's in the third period. Your dual score 24-16 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. Here with 25 seconds remaining. Third period, 160 pounds. Cruz Ranke and Miles Theelgis. 4-1's the score. Expect some activity. A big flirt here. Final 15 seconds from Theelgis. Theelgis needs the takedown to tie it up. Ranke with the under is going to block. Theelgis going back in, double unders by Ranke. Theelgis not much going there. Ranke stalls him out, and that'll do it. Ranke, 4-1 winner, and 24-19 with the win by decision. 172 pounds. And that's Eli Lyons coming out for the Lisbon Broncos. Lyons coming off that 172-pound Letterman's Championship. So when he's wrestling Fisher Johnson and Lyons with the takedown. Lisbon has not led in this duel. It's been Kindred so far. 24-19 up to 172 pounds. Weight classes to go, 189, 215 in heavyweight. As Lyons has the hammerlock on Johnson. Fisher Johnson wrestling out there for Kindred. Lyons for Lisbon. This is Eli Lyons, placed third at 160 pounds last year and third in 2024. Lyons has a half Nelson locked up on Johnson. A lot of pressure on the shoulder. Johnson in some trouble. Lyons tries to go center net right. Johnson and with the reversal, the 2 near fall and the 2 reversal. So we got the near fall and the reversal. We're 4 or 5-2. Lyons will stand up. Johnson has to return him to the mat. Still hand fighting. No, now stall warning. Johnson just needs to cut him loose. So Fisher Johnson ranked number 6 at 172 pounds. Latest Dakota Grappler rankings. Eli Lyons ranked number 2 behind Sawyer Knoll, Bowman County Beach. And Lyons with the go behind. 3 more points for Eli Lyons. With the takedown, final 5 seconds of the period. Lyons will take the 9-2 with the 2 takedowns. For Lyons in that period. Johnson with the reversal. Lyons also with the near fall. He was up 5-0. Johnson with the reversal. Lyons with the escape and the takedown, 9-2. Lyons in the top position. Hammerlock on Johnson, putting a lot of pressure on the shoulder. Official down there, making sure everything stays legal. Legal and safe is the key. As Lyons back to the hammerlock, spirals the wrist on the far side. Goes half. Nelson has the wrist spiral, is going to try to pull up Johnson into the body and elevate that chest so he can get underneath it. He does it again. Readjusts. Lyons working for a fall here for the Broncos. 1:08 remaining. He's going to go chest on chest. A lot of pressure on the top for Eli Lyons. A pin for Lyons. Eli Lyons coming up big along with his senior teammate Griffin Greenlee with the wins by fall for Lisbon. And that looked like that was in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. In the second period, fall for Lisbon. Lisbon with their first lead, 25-24, 189 pounds. Lucina and Mengi. Wrestling Tanner Mengi here. This is 189-pound action. Mengi ranked number 3 at 189. Actually, I'm going to have to relook that. So that's not. Maybe they moved Fisher Johnson up. So I don't get any of the changes to the lineup. I just got to try to go by what I see or think who they are. I'm pretty sure this is Johnson, Fisher Johnson out here at 189. Mengi, they're going to bump up to 215 to Schwab, it looks like. So Lucina here at 189. Honorable mention for Lisbon. Nice single leg shot goes down on Lucina. Lucina's going to try to shin whizzer out of it. Johnson going in. And Lucina looking for the edge of the mat. Johnson goes into him on the edge of the 3-point takedown. So 25-24, a dual score. They'll score 3-0. And off the whistle, knee slide by Lucina and the escape. So the takedown and now the escape. So it looks like Fisher Johnson, say at 189. In the final 15 seconds, Lucina goes down to, and he has a collar tie far side. We're 3-1. Lucina's going to go doubles. on Johnson. Johnson stands up. Lucina goes into him. Ooh, and just missed it. At the end of the period, had the double unders, went into him. And deferring over, Lucina's going to choose bottom. Lucina's going to have a move out of the bottom. Yeah, as Luke Walski really put the right on Lucina in that Northern Cast duel. So Lucina off the whistle, stands up, back at it again, trying to break the grip. Johnson in on, head down Lucina with the escape. Fires off the bottom. So we're 3-2. Johnson will have choice. Goes down, has the single leg. Now Lucina has the cow catcher, going to try to snap down Johnson. In that position, Greenlee with the elevator that won by fall. And Johnson's going to take Lucina down. Nice little trip on Lucina, so we do have the three-point takedown. So 3-point takedown. And Lucina was trying to force it. Johnson with the leverage. 6-2 is your score. We're 6-2. Lucina back at it. See if he can make up a little bit of ground. So down to the final 40 seconds. Fisher Johnson top position, trying to hit a hammerlock on Lucina. Is going to bar it up on the near side. Lucina has the head down on the mat. Johnson goes to work over the top. Lucina not able to build the base. Johnson doing a good job keeping the pressure on him. Final 18 seconds, second period. 5-2 or 6-2 is this match score. Now Lucina with the stall warning. Not doing much on the bottom. Yeah, still some points to be scored in the match and in the duel. So here's Lucina in the top position. Johnson for Kindred here at 189 pounds. Johnson bumping up off the whistle. And the escape for Johnson. Double leg here. Johnson with the takedown, doubles it up. 10-2 should be the score. 10-2 is the score. 1:30 remaining in the third period. Kindred looking to take back the lead. Win by major decision will put them up. (27-25), or excuse me, 28-25. Bottom position. 8-point lead for Fisher Johnson here at Kindred over Lucina at the 1:10 remaining. Back working underneath. Here's Lucina. Final 50 seconds. Johnson working on top. Back to the center of the mat. Lucina knee slide, stands up. Johnson breaks him back down. So here's final 30 seconds. Third period. Johnson with the half. Lucina looks like he's official down there talking to him. Lucina's got to do something on bottom. He's going to get another stall warning. Final 20 seconds. And Johnson in control, up by 8 points. Final 5 seconds. And that'll do it. As we go to 215 pounds, that's a win by major decision, 10-2. (28-25). 215 pounds of Schwab and Mengi out there. Here at 215. 3-point lead. For Kindred, they take back the lead. And Mengi in on a single leg shot outside on Schwab. So 28-25. Is the dual score. Minute 30 remaining. So Jim definitely quiet. Minute 20, minute 19 remaining, first period. Schwab's going to go in, Mengi and Schwab's going to catch Mengi. Mengi's going to try to come around momentarily. There's the big tussle with Schwab and Mengi. Schwab almost caught him on the edge of the mat. Mengi had to keep those feet driving, and that's what saved him. Down to a minute remaining here in the first period. Little snap of the head. Here's Schwab. Mengi Russian tie works in. Outside single. Schwab's going to try to catch him again. Mengi on the edge of the mat. Schwab back around. Mengi still in the high crotch on Schwab. Schwab working on the edge. Still working the edge. Mengi's going to double it up. Try to run Schwab over. Catches him on the hip. And the 3 takedown for Tanner Mengi. Final 20 seconds, first period. Dual score 25-28. Kindred with the 3-point lead. And going into the second period, Schwab defers. Mengi in the bottom position. Off the whistle. Schwab with the half on Mengi. Mengi's going to reach up, grab it, throws it off. Mengi outside leg stand up. Now inside leg, Schwab feels a half. Mengi is going to try to keep him up there high. He grabbed that shoulder, grabbed the arm, tried to pull it down, catch Schwab high. He's able to get it, now grabs the leg. See if he can crack him down. There, Tanner Mengi still working around, keeps the feet driving. Has Schwab a little bit high. He's going to throw him over for the reversal at least. And now the 2 reversal. So now with a minute remaining, second period, 28-25 in the duel in favor of Kindred. 215 pounds, Tanner Mengi out there wrestling up to 215. And a nice sit up. Schwab comes back around off the edge of the mat. 5-0 is the score between Schwab and Mengi. Tanner Mengi for Kindred, blue singlet with the white trim in the lead. 37 seconds on the clock. Second period. And off the whistle. Schwab broke belly down, center of the mat. Spirals. Now working over the top here is Tanner Mengi. Final 18 seconds. Second period. And Schwab back up to his base. Final 5 seconds. Schwab will have choice. Mingy with the angle spiked on the backside. Give Schwab choice. See if he chooses. He can go bottom again. Madden is down 5-0. And there off the whistle. Schwab with the stand up. Outside leg. Mingy working on the elbow and the wrist. Going to chop it. Schwab has to build back up to the base here. Still 5-0 lead here for Tanner Mingy. The minute 43 remaining. And look for Schwab to pick up a stall warning. Now back up to his base. Gets off his belly. Hard crossface. For Schwab. Now over the top with the crossface by Mingy. Schwab still just holding his base. Schwab's got to move on the bottom. He's going to get warned for stalling. Now a little chop by Mingy moves him around a little bit. Schwab working inside on the bottom. Mingy still working over the top. Minute 10 remaining in the third period. Schwab holding on to the wrist. Now he's going to try to turn the hips. Mingy's going to go inside here on the ankle. Thought he's going to try to hook up a cradle. Schwab able to kind of scoot out of it. Didn't see if that stall warning went up. Final 50 seconds here, Schwab and Mingy. Schwab's got to move. Now warned for stalling is Madden Schwab. Final 40 seconds. Schwab worked down his belly. Mingy's going to pour the pressure on. He wants to get some near fall and the extra point here for a major decision. Final 30 seconds. And Mingy could cut Schwab loose and try to work something on his feet. At this point, another stall, this time going to Mingy. So Mingy warned for stalling this time. Final 25 seconds. 4 near fall will give the 9-0. 3 near fall, 8-0. So Mingy's going to hunt for some quick near fall points on Schwab. Final 20 seconds. Let's see if Mingy's warmed down enough here to score something. Final 15 for Schwab and Tanner Mingy. Schwab's been warned for stalling. Just in that bottom position, he's just going to hold his base. Schwab's last 2 period, his choice was just not give up any more points and not get pinned. And 3 points, 31-25. 31-25, this is coming down to the heavyweights, and then Lions with a pin could tie it up. Anything less than a pin, Kindred wins the duel outright. So 25-31, lock them up here at 285 pounds. Brock Lions for the Lisbon Broncos. Lions picking up 2 wins on the night. Wrestling Case and Nudell. So 285 pounds. Lions and Nudell coming down to this one. So once again, you could hear pin drop inside the activity center over here. And Lions working a collar tie, now goes underneath on Nudell. Nudell's going to push him away. Lions being patient. Nudell level change. Nudell pushing into Lions. Nudell back to the center of the mat. Minute 5 remaining, first period. And wrestlers still in that feel out stage, just working through head and hand defense. You got the old heavyweights pushing and shoving on each other, center of the mat. Working on wrist ties, collar ties. Trying to work inside. Lions pushing on Nudell. Nudell holding his ground at this point. And the bobbing and weaving out there like a boxer. Final 30 seconds of the first period. Lions isolates the wrist. Snap down on the head. Goes underhook. Lions tries to inside trip. Final 19 seconds. Here's Nudell. Nudell has an underhook on Lyons. Lyons snaps it down, shrugs it away. Final 10 seconds. Back to the center of the mat. No urgency by either wrestler in this first period. And that'll do it. First period going with Nudell has choice. He's going to choose neutral with Lyons. So Nudell and Lyons neutral. Second period. Scoreless in the first after the first. Lyons with the little inside trip attempt, but really only offense or really attack by either wrestler, anything serious. So back to the center. In the restart, Russian tie working for Nudell. Lyons reaches in, Nudell boxes back out. Back to the center. Minute 30 remaining. Lyons goes back to the wrist on Nudell. Nudell shrugs him off, pushes away. Lyons working back inside with Nudell. Nudell with the underhook final with a minute 12 remaining in the second period. Still back center of the mat. Lyons back to the wrist. Well, neither wrestler committing to any type of attack. Now Nudell's going into Lyons, pushing on him, pushes him out towards the edge of the mat. Lyons looking for a trip, working inside. We got a little scrum, but nothing going. Lyons dives in, back up on the single leg shot. Final 40 seconds. Now down to 35 seconds. Broncos down by 6. So Nudell goes head tap on Lyons. Lyons level change, nothing going there. Back with 15 seconds remaining. Ties up on the wrist. Lyons tries to pass it, nothing going. And that'll do it going into the third and final period. It comes down to 2 minutes in this duel. We're scoreless. Lyons choosing bottom position, going alternate start. That's what Nudell looks over. He's going to give him neutral, 1-0. So Lyons going to go up on his feet. We're 1-0. Lyons with the point given. And starting in the neutral position. And the attack. Nudell's going to double up. Lyons, front headlock. Pouring it on. Cowcatcher. He's got to bring it back. He's going to step in. Tosses him over. Lyons catches him. Oh, Nudell. Nudell with the takedown. Lyons slips out of it. Or Nudell slips out of it on Lyons. 3-1 makes things interesting. Nudell throws in the leg. He's a little bit high here on Lyons. Working the edge of the mat. See if Lyons can work back around. Lyons got to work up towards the head. He kind of worked the wrong way on that, but still working it. See if he can work towards the head. He's going to spin over. He has Nudell on his back. Lyons working for a fall. He's going to try to tie it up. He catches him. He's got to readjust. Nudell is going to try to get belly down. And we're 3-3. Nudell fights it off. The 4 near fall. Lyons misses the opportunity. 7-3 is your score. He has the 4-point lead. You probably let him up and try again. So 40 seconds remaining. Lyons will catch him. Back around, they go out. 37 seconds remaining. No near fall, 7-3. Lyons had the opportunity. Nudell fought off his back. Got belly down. Final 30 seconds coming up. Lyons going to pick it up. Nudell just has to stay base down, not go to his back. Final 20 seconds here for Lyons. Lyons are going to go power half. Nudell's just got to sit there. He can turtle up. Yeah, as Lions could have going back, looking back, maybe just let him up, tried to work something from his feet. As they needed the pin to win, and that'll do it. Kindred will win 31-28. That's your final dual score. So Kindred with the win, 31-20 up on the Bank North scoreboard, 7-3. So if you don't get the pin there, then Kindred wins the duel, and that's 28-31. Kindred with your win. Your final match score, that was 7-3 in favor of Brock Lions. And we're going to step away. We'll take a break. We'll come back, recap the Olson Accounting recap for the match, and then wind things up here from the North Sturgeon High School Activity Center.
Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Fireworks and sports stuff in the same store? That's right. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Come in and browse the sports cards and memorabilia and fireworks at the same time. Unopened packs and boxes of sports cards, plus pre-owned cards as well. Jersey, Swatch, autograph cards, lots of Twins, Vikings, Wolves, Wild, Lynx, and North Stars memorabilia, bobbleheads, caps, and more. Call anytime, 701-436-6140. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro.
Hey, welcome back here at YourLiveEvent.com as that wraps up that duel in the third round. Kindred defeats Lisbon. That final score, 31-28, came down to 285 as Lions needed a pin. Nudell able to hold him off at a 7-3 win by decision for Brock Lions, but not enough for Lisbon. 31-28, Kindred over Lisbon. Broncos dual record now falls to 6-2. They go to 6-2. They're 3-2 in Southeast Subregion. And Kindred will stay undefeated. So Kindred in the top position right now with the 7-0 record and 5-0 overall in the Southeast Subregion. They don't. I believe they don't duel Valley City or South Border. So not sure how they seed that out without Kindred in a duel with South Border or Valley City. But right now they're undefeated in the Southeast Subregion. They've picked up wins already over Ellendale, Edgeley, Calm, and Oaks, and now over Lisbon. And then they picked up those additional dual wins tonight, so that's two more. So they're now 5-0 in the Southeast Subregion. They're 7-0 overall, just looking at that. For Kindred, Lisbon now 3-2 in the Southeast Subregion. They're 6-2 overall in duels. And looking at that Olson Accounting dual recaps, Kindred came out at 107 pounds, win by fall. In a minute 11, Jaden Rude over Theo Hans. Dual score 6-0. One of the key matchups in that duel. Looking back on it, that was Nolan Mengi, your winner by decision, 8-5 over Micah Fromke. 9-0 was the dual score after 114. 121, Bristol Swanson picks up a win by forfeit at 121 pounds. 127, it was Gavin Swenser, winner by fall in the first period, or excuse me, in the second period over Brody Seelig. Dual score 21-0. And then at 133, Grayson Lyons and Gavin Rude. That was another key matchup, and it was Rude with the win by decision over Grayson Lyons by a score of 7-0. Dual score 24-0. Broncos with a win by forfeit at 139 from Ian Anderson, 24-6. 145 pounds. Greenlee over Jordheim with your Agasate Precision mover the match with that elevator, picking up the win by fall, 24-12. And 152 pounds, it was Ryan Eng with a win, 14-3 over Noak Swenson. Eng had the 13-0 lead, and ended up winning that by major decision, 14-3. It was 24-16 after 152 pounds. 160, it was Cruz Ranke over Miles Thiel just by decision, 4-1. 24-19 in favor of Kindred. Lisbon will take the lead, 25-24 at 172 pounds in the duel once Eli Lyons wins by fall in 349. Then it was Fisher Johnson over Riley Lucina at 189 pounds by major decision, 10-2, 28-25 the dual score. And then at 215 pounds, Tanner Mengi bumps up, and he wins by decision over Madden Schwab. And that was a 31-25 dual score. The Broncos needing a pin at 285 pounds to tie the duel up and then go to criteria, and that was not going to happen as Kason Nudell holds off Brock Lyons. Pinning combination, gets back belly down, and that's a win by decision for Brock Lyons. Not enough for Lisbon. Your final dual score 28-31 up on that Bank North scoreboard. That was your final score in the duel, 28-31 in favor of Kindred. Kindred stays undefeated in duels, and in the Southeast sub-region, the Broncos with losses now to South Border and Kindred. And as we turn to the action from this evening in the first round, here to let's go into that Agassi Egg precision move of the match was given to Griffin Greenlee on that elevator. Just finesse move. The Broncos needing a pin to get themselves back into this. And Greenlee came out at 145 pounds in the second period and put on a move that got the Broncos that pin, and that closed up the dual score 24-12. So Agassi Egg precision move of the match going out to Griffin Greenlee. That's from Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119. And then your Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel. Life takes energy from Enbridge. Energy for Life, Enbridge.com for all those career opportunities. That's going to go out to Tanner Mengi at 215 pounds. He bumps up to wrestle Mad Schwab. And good move by the Kindred Vikings, as that matchup would get them a win by decision and put them ahead by 6 points going into 285 pounds. So Tanner Mengi picking up the Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel for the Kindred Vikings in their dual victory this evening over the Lisbon Broncos. And now turning to the duels from earlier this evening. In round one, it was Lisbon over Napoleon 58-6. Northern Cass and Kindred defeated Northern Cass 60-9. Lisbon defeated in round two. It was Lisbon over Northern Cass 65-9. And then it was Kindred over Napoleon 48-7 in the second round. And then the final here, Kindred versus Lisbon. Lisbon and Kindred going the distance, and Kindred wins this one by a score of 31-28 over the Lisbon Broncos. And then Napoleon and Northern Cass, let's see if I have that final score. It was Northern Cass over Napoleon by a score of 27-24. That was your final over on mat number 2. So that'll wrap things up here for our wrestling this evening at the North Sargent Activity Center here in Gwinner, North Dakota. And we were back here for more wrestling. It'll be tomorrow night from Lisbon High School. And that's girls wrestling tomorrow with Pembina County North taking on the Lisbon Broncos. So two of the top teams in dual teams in the East region or east side of the state are in Lisbon tomorrow for a duel. And you can catch that on yourliveevent.com. And then we'll also have the Storehog Girls Wrestling Tournament on Saturday on Your Live Event. So more wrestling action coming up for all the wrestling fans in the southeast part of the state. In the state of North Dakota and around the region, that's coming up this weekend, I should say Friday and Saturday on Your Live Event. So this is Brent Dick here signing off from the Gwinner North Sargent High School Activity Center. And we will see you tomorrow for more coverage of Lisbon High School athletics.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Embrace the joy of community at Halstead Living Center and Heritage House in Halstead, where wonderful neighbors and energetic minds come together. If you're seeking more than just a place to call home, you found the right spot with Halstead Living Center and Heritage House. Whether your interests lie in music, agriculture, sports, or dancing, you'll find someone who shares your passion and expertise. Discover a fulfilling lifestyle filled with connection and celebration with Halstead Living Center and Heritage House in Halstead. Get more information by calling 218-456-2105 or log on to halsteadlivingcenter.com.